go down to the Swedish woods today, you're definitely in for a big surprise.
Well, hello, good morning, and welcome to Sweden. It's round 6 of the 2019 FIA World Rallycross Championship, and it's not exactly the midsummer that we were expecting here, but nonetheless it's provided some incredible action already yesterday, and it's promising much more today. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for joining us. We are live, so wherever you are, share this with your friends, tell us where you're watching from, and tell us who you are rooting for today, because today, during this live stream, we will see World RX qualifying 3, then Euro RX qualifying 4, then RX2 qualifying 4, and then World RX qualifying 4. So basically we've got 20 races and 70 cars doing battle right here on this live stream. So you don't have to go anywhere for about 2.5 hours, because we'll be here doing this for you. So it is Sweden. We can keep you up to speed with, if you missed the action yesterday, it was spectacular. We'll bring you up to speed shortly. But let's have a look at where this is in the context of the World Championship. So we started in Abu Dhabi, we've done a tour of Europe before we go to Canada, but we're in Sweden now, and we've launched the second half of the season, and there we are in the Värmlands region in the middle of Sweden, and these forests in the winter play host to the Swedish rally, but right now, right here, we are ready for rallycross. Now, what would normally happen is at this point we would start to have cars putting up onto the pre-grid. Let's go down here. I can just show you while we're waiting for action. This is called the Magic Weekend, and one of the reasons for that is just the most incredible rallycross track. Now, this is the point at which the cars will go down from the pre-grid. That is the start grid down there, and as you can see, it is wet. There is still some rain in the air, but it's anyone's guess as to whether it's going to dry or get wetter. So while we wait for some cars to pull up to the line, I can see Liam Doran is at the front of the queue back there. So while we wait for them to come to us, maybe get an interview before the action starts, let's have a look at what happened yesterday in qualifyings 1 and 2.
The classic opening ceremony at Hollius, and an explosive session to come. Kevin Hansen, starting on the outside of the grid, suffered with a short trip into the gravel trap at the start of his race. Bachuska was leading until he made this mistake, and he lost enough time to give the lead to Kevin Hansen. He took the win in race 1. His brother Timmy started from the same slot, further into the gravel trap, but landing from the jump on the exit of turn 2, he pushes the tyre off the rim. From then on, the World Championship leader just went backwards. Sebastian Eriksson making moves up through the field, but it was Raymond who won the race. Race 3, and it was more of the same. This time, Kevin Eriksson fully into the gravel trap and fully lit. Eriksson chased down the positions. De Ridder with more car problems, seemingly no change of luck for him. Kaliokowski takes the win, and Schiescher was punished for this drive-through on Timo Scheider. Reini Snitich, though, was the biggest loser in turn 1. Sideways over the curb, a huge roll into the gravel trap for the Latvian. His teammate Tim Azyanov went fastest so far. We ride on board with Doran, allowing his teammate Backerud through into the lead in turn 1, while Kevin Abring was pushed wide by Markland. Doran beat Gronholm to the merge, but Gronholm got him back at the velodrome. Backerud took the win and went fastest in Q1. For his teammate Liam Doran, though, the drama didn't finish at the finish line. He ended the session in the wall. On to Q2, torrential rain before the start, and the grids were reversed. Andreas Backerud got the whole shot, nobody got near him, and he held on for the checkered flag, but the track was drying. Markland got the lead in his race. Despite those changing conditions, it still wasn't easy. Sebastian Eriksson dropped it in the Joker lap, and Liam Doran dropped it at high speed coming down the hill. Markland had no such problems. Timmy Hansen desperately needed a good start after his disastrous Q1. He lost out. He fought his way back through the field during the course of the race, but Kevin Abring was pushing really hard out front. Hansen had a moment of his own, and Abring took the win from Timmy. The final race of the day, and Reinis Nittisch's team had worked miracles to get the car on the grid. He led Shishirit from the start, and despite the Joker strategy being different, they finished nose to tail. Unbelievably, Nittisch wins Q2, but it's Baccarat who's the overnight DQ.
For Q1 we put on new tires on and new pucks, and we gave it all, and we were all of a sudden P1, so it changed fast when the conditions changed a little bit. We kept on the overall lead for day one, so for sure very happy with that. It's great to be back here in Hollia. It's the magic weekend. Hopefully we can do much better here. I would love to spray some champagne at the end of the weekend.
Despite that run in the rain, then in Q2, Baccarat at the top of the table from Markland, Abbring, Eriksson and Nittisch, who all benefited from dry track. Shishirit too, Sebastian Eriksson, Timo Scheider, Kevin Hansen, Gronholm, Timosyanov and Paye are in the top 12. The World Championship leader, Timmy Hansen, is in 16th.
So as you can see, as promised, in that time, the cars have started to line up. This is the lineup for the first race of qualifying 3 for World RX. And as you just saw, currently in 11 in the overnight standings is Timo Timosyanov. Just before he gets his helmet on, or as he gets his helmet on, Timo, just a quick word about conditions this morning and what you can do to stay in the semi-final places.
The condition is actually now changed. The rain stopped. It was actually equal for everyone on the warm-up. Now it will be some strange. How to say? We will see how it's going, because still the track will be a little bit muddy, and the speed is need to be now there. But we need to do maximum what we can from our place. Yesterday was upside down at the race. I have 1 minute to be ready, and we will see. It's racing. Everything has changed a lot, and now it can be rainy, come back, and it will be bad luck for the other guys. But for us, it's what has happened yesterday.
And you've got to go in now 1 minute. Just in one word, can you sum up how much fun it is to drive the Hollias Rallycross track?
Oh, it's no any words to say, but explain how is it nice to drive. Actually, you know, a lot of guys is driving in a dirt game this track, but finally when they come here to race, they said it's completely different. You don't feel that. How is it like all the track is? Okay. Yeah, I need to go.
Good luck, Timo. So yes, obviously this is one of the tracks you can play on the dirt game, and always listen to your spotter. So here we go. We have more cars getting ready, which must mean only one thing. It is time to go racing, ladies and gentlemen. Qualifying 3, World RX, about to get underway, and I'll hand you up to your commentators, Andrew Coley and Dan Rook.
Morning, everyone. Looking forward to this. It's wet. We weren't expecting to be wet. We thought the rain would stop around 4 a.m. We thought the sun would be out. I've spoken to a number of the teams this morning. They weren't ready for it either, so I think they were possibly expecting to have dry settings on the cars. Take a quick look at the track, and we'll give you a reminder of the challenge here at the fantastic Hollias circuit. Here it is. Sweden's been on the World Championship since the very start in 2014. Of course, plenty of European Championship events before then. 60% asphalt, 40% dirt, anti-clockwise. It's a second corner Joker lap, and this one is a proper roller coaster. It's my favourite circuit of the year, and I know it's some of the drivers' favourite tracks as well. We've got extra track width on the way into the velodrome corner. We've got some more tarmac on the right, which has given us some alternative lines down here. It's been great racing again this year, as always.
Yeah, been a fantastic first day, and we saw so much action just from Q1 in the World RX guys really going at it, all guns blazing, and the additional changes to the track have definitely mixed it as well.
Now, we sometimes reverse the grids. You'll know that today we're not reversing the grids, so the fastest drivers will go last. It's wet at the minute. I would expect the track to develop considerably during the session. The rain has stopped. There you go. There's a look at the track from Tom up our crane. Okay, so some puddles. There's some dust X in those puddles as well. You can see from the sort of slimy marks in there. The cars have been coming back pretty muddy. The track cleaners have been out there as well. That's the new tarmac on the run into velodrome. Look on the left-hand side of the jump just before. You can see there's an extra metre and a half of tarmac there, which means the entry speed to velodrome is a little bit quicker than it was. There's a new curb on the exit of that, which we saw Gronholm use yesterday to pass Doran. The curbs have been changed as well through the two corners in the run up to velodrome. So a few little changes to the track which have just made things really exciting. There's that big jump, which is at the end of the lap, and we can't wait to get things underway. We're loading the cars into the grid for the first race of the day, and we'll be good to go any minute now. Some of the crowd in position. Monster Energy Girls in position as well. Q3 race 1, as you can see. They've got their coats on. Me and Dan Rook have been proper grown-ups and bought our coats with us today, haven't we?
Yeah, so I don't actually have to tuck my arms on the inside of my t-shirt.
It's still cold. Actually, it's 11 degrees now. Track temperature only 14, so that's around 5 seconds lower on both temperatures than it was yesterday. Time to get Q3 underway then. Let's see the lineup for race 1. Yanis Balmanis and Timur Timosyanov in this one, with Philip German, Guillaume de Ridder and Oliver Bennett. So they're all on wets. You can see Balmanis is 19th, Timur is in 11th, so his bad race yesterday in Q2, seeing him in here, but he's actually in the semis at the minute. Everyone else is looking to make it. To give you an idea, between 3rd place Kevin Abring and 22nd place Liam Doran, there are only 14 qualifying points, so this is wide open. Great start, Timosyanov absolutely hooked that up. Balmanis going to slot in behind. German's going to go P3. Balmanis goes a little bit wide to give himself a bit of space. De Ridder contact with Bennett in the background. De Ridder goes standard lap. It's only German who's gone to the joker on this one. So Timosyanov leading Danny, got a mega start there.
Yeah, absolutely awesome start. Just getting the RPM right for his launch there, and just hooked it up and already pulled a car length by the first 10 metres.
Look at the mud all over the cars behind straight away. Timur's got that advantage of a clear screen for a start. Bennett's sliding really wide, but it's mega wet out here. Look at the dirt. I mean, in fact, that section looks okay, but the section between the turn 2 and the corner before the velodrome, again, there you can see when Timur runs wide, there's a lot of wet still out there.
Yeah, it's very, very wet, and we've had a warm-up this morning, of course, and that's dragged even more mud onto the circuit, which the guys would have cleaned last night at the circuit. So it's definitely getting slippier. These guys were the first ones out in warm-up, and the conditions would have changed for them.
Balmanis goes joker straight away on lap 2. He's going to try and cover off German behind. Should slot in just, so that's a pretty tidy spot from his crew, because German has managed to get a clean lap in there, hasn't he? They're going to catch up to Bennett, though, and I think that will be what will hinder them unless they can get past. So Bennett has had very little running down. I know you popped down and saw the team yesterday. He's had a shocker of a weekend.
Yeah,
Balmanis passed him. Sorry, German too. So the shocking weekend is continuing, but we'd expect that with the lack of seat time.
Yeah, like not very much seat time on this track at all, and especially with the new changes they've made as well. It's all stuff to try and get used to, but he snapped the subframe yesterday in Q1, and I knew they flew somebody out last night with a spare one to get it fitted.
But they have to, don't they? Because the cars, of course, are going almost directly from here to Canada, so it's not like you say, I'll just stick it in the van, we'll sort it out when we get home.
No, so they have to get everything sorted now, and they're going to be flat out at the end of this weekend to prep for Canada.
De Ridder tries to get Balmanis, but Balmanis has just done enough, so it was crucial there for Balmanis to make sure he got past Bennett, and he did. Oh, now Balmanis runs wide. Oh, into the Armco. Was there a tiny touch there? Was there a little touch? And it doesn't matter if there was, everyone's sliding around, but there was maybe a tiny touch over the crest with De Ridder, and it just pushed him a couple of feet wide.
Yeah, I think where Balmanis ran wide, De Ridder just got his nose up the inside, and where Balmanis was trying to correct it, just went into the side of De Ridder. Racing incident, I don't think De Ridder's in the wrong there at all.
No, definitely. So Balmanis, a highly qualified World RX driver, took his first podium last time out. Fastest lap of the day, Timosyanov, that's going to get quicker. Timur goes joking on the last lap. He's keeping it super tidy. I have to say, this is a great run by Timur. Out front, look at the gap he's got on everyone else. We know the track's going to get quicker. He's doing all he can do.
Yeah, so he is just going to have to drive his best race and keep himself as tidy as possible, and maybe hope that the guys in the later race, where the track will probably be drier, will make some mistakes where he can then capitalise.
So Timur blasting it down the hill, and we'll give you an idea then of what the times are like. So yesterday in the wet, with a 3:04 was the winner for Rainis Nitish, but of course that was dry by the end of the session, so we need to look at some of the people that are in some of the early races. So I know Backer was in an early one. Let's see what Timur's time is first. So Timur's done a 3:24.7. Backer yesterday did a 3:19.6 in similar-ish conditions. We can't really compare, can we, Dan? It was heavy rain just before Q2 yesterday, so let's see. People appearing with their chairs to sit on today. Timosyanov takes it from De Ridder, German, Balmanis and Bennett. Good to see Bennett get a finish. Poor old Ollie, I say, tough weekend, and then continuing to learn the track in these conditions. So Timosyanov with a great start.
You can see there he doesn't need any calls from his spotter at all or anything. He's already got the car hooked up, so he's clear into turn 1.
Timmer there with a wheel off on the dirt. This was where Bennett ran just a tiny bit wide, tried to shut the door. I don't think he really realised, did he, that Balmanis he got through, and then German would have been a big surprise too. So this is where Balmanis runs wide. Watch this. It's a little bit sideways. Derrida goes up the inside. Yeah, there's no one at fault there. Okay, watch Tim Zianov through here. We're wondering about track limits apparently in the truck. Does he manage to knock on? No, okay, he does. He clips the cone on the way out. Now, Timmer yesterday was given a penalty, so we'll have to see if anyone's got anything to say about that.
Timmer, it's a qualifying heat win, but you don't look happy. What's happened?
What?
I think he's being spoken to on the radio. It's a heat win, but what happened? You don't look happy.
Yeah, it's some other things which I don't like inside of the car, and yeah, I think that we can do that better. But still, yeah, I done it like what I can. We will see how it will be on the overall. Who knows?
We're hearing about track limits in the Joker. What do you know about that?
Yeah, that is a track limit. I don't see how exactly it will be because I can't do anything. I changed already the direction, and if I done it, I don't know. I don't feel it. It's so soft.
Thank you.
So Timmer saying there basically he doesn't really know about the track limits. He will know that he's got near it, but in these conditions he's not necessarily anything he could have done about it, Dan. You know, he's done his best, and he wasn't happy with the car. I've done my best.
Yeah, so he's going to be going back now and working hard before Q4, but of course track conditions will likely to change then as well, so it's going to be tricky for him to find a setup for the car.
Yeah, and this is what we mean about everyone was kind of expecting this morning to be dry, you know, come in here and get the settings on the car that you know that work, and it hasn't ended that way, so it's wet and these guys are all having to feel their way around. Here we go then, Q3, race 2. Rokas Baciuska, Kevin Hansen, Jiri Kaliakowski, Niklas Gronholm and Liam Doran. Doran in 22nd, as I say, he's only 14 qualifying points off 3rd, so he's definitely not out, and the same can be said for everyone else. I mean, Kevin Hansen is in, I think Niklas Gronholm was as well, he's in 10th. There's the onboard with Liam. We're going to watch him get the car ready to start, in gear, looking at the lights, here we go. Definitely clipped the clutch once, but he's got the car away well. Gronholm shuts the door on Kaliakowski. Doran's going to try and go around the outside into turn 1. Gets a little nudge beyond the gas. He's going to spin over the curbs. Watch those tyres, Liam. So Liam's gone backwards over the curbs. Kevin Hansen leads from Niklas Gronholm. We came to that camera a little bit late, and we on the exit of turn 1, so we couldn't quite see what happened, but I reckon maybe a contact between Liam and Kevin.
Yeah, I think Liam was probably the best of the starters, but coming from the outside of the grid, it's hard to cut across, and contact as the car goes light over the crest pitched him sideways, and from there, especially in these slippery conditions, not able to keep it out of the gravel.
So Kevin Hansen leading. We need to see if Doran's got any punctures or not, because Dan, yesterday, how many times did we see people go across that curve sideways and knock a tyre off a rim in the different classes?
Yeah, so many times, and it was just all from that drama in turn 1, and when you hit the back of this curve, it's so easy to roll the tyre off the rim.
Kevin Hansen is in P9. I was speaking to his spotter, Graham Rodemark, this morning. And they were another one. I said, Graham, how's it going? And he goes, well, my plans have gone out the window. And he was only messing about, but Baciuska looked right up over the curve. Baciuska hasn't, Joker Gronholm has. So Gronholm, the leader of those, is Joker, is going to want to get by here. But you've got to adapt, Dan, haven't you? And if the settings aren't right in the car, like they clearly weren't for Timmer, what are you going to do?
Exactly, you just got to try and work with the data that you have, but like you say, it is very hard for these guys, and you've got the Gronholm team are running 3 cars this weekend. All of them are in different Q3 race, and the track conditions probably going to be different for each driver as well, so it's going to be hard to try and find a setup between the 3 cars.
And then you can't necessarily compare the data afterwards, I suppose. I mean, maybe if the conditions were the same, but your lap time was good. Well, yeah, it was dry, so it just doesn't work, does it? It makes it very hard.
Yeah, it is very difficult, and now we've got added gravel in turn 1 as well, which is going to be hampering them.
Baciuska's gone Joker. That's released Gronholm, and he's now chasing down Kevin Hansen, and it's only 3.3 between them. But yesterday we saw that in these damp conditions, the Joker is less of a disadvantage than it is in the dry.
Yeah, more consistent grip levels in the Joker lap with it all being gravel, and he's able to hook it up that little bit better through there.
Velodrome definitely isn't going to dry. It's interesting, there's a puddle on the way in, isn't it? And even if the rest of the track dries, that puddle is going to get dragged through Velodrome on every lap, which could keep it slippery. Watch Kevin here. Wait, get the car straight. Full gas. We saw everyone doing that in free practice this morning. Okay, here we go. Kevin's going to go Joker. Niklas is 3.6 back, 3.8. So Kevin's gapped in by 2/10. I think that might be enough, Dan.
Yeah, it definitely will be, especially because of the gravel on turn 1. It makes the standard lap a bit trickier.
So it's still pretty close. So I reckon, what, 3.5? What, Gronon backs it into the left, doesn't he, in the right. Watch for the puddle that we were talking about a second ago after this crest. There's standing water in the road just here. I say that's just going to keep getting dragged through Velodrome.
Yeah, and it's taking mud with it as well from the loose section, so it's going to be very, very greasy through Velodrome.
They've built that new curve, haven't they, on the exit of Velodrome, but it seems to me to be about 20 metres too late because everyone's ditch hooking just before it. Kevin over the jump. Target time is 3:24. He's not going to get there. So it looks like it's a good run in the previous race. Oh my goodness me! I've just seen on the timing screen, Timozyanov has been disqualified. Timozyanov has been DQ'd for track markers. That seems extremely harsh to me. But I looked down to compare the time of Kevin Hansen to Timozyanov, and it's showing Derrida as the session leader on 3:28.7. So Kevin Hansen goes faster than that, but Timmer has been disqualified. And Timozyanov was in P11. He's been given a DQ, and I promise you he will be livid about that. Kevin Hansen takes it from Niklas Gronon, Rokas Bachuska, Jiri Kaliakowski and Liam Doran. Take a look back at the action from this. We'll see what happened to Liam in turn 1.
So Liam here seemingly getting the best of the start, so he's right on board with him. He's going to try and hook the car over to get the squeeze and everyone there. That big contact and just full lock and full gas trying to pull himself out of the gravel, but as soon as you touch that, he's a passenger.
He was actually only 8 seconds off the back of Kevin, so all those 8 seconds probably lost here. Looking at lap times, he was in the 50s. Yeah, so he was there on lap times. He was on the pace with everyone else. But, okay, at least he didn't lose a tyre, so he's lost the time with the incident, but he hasn't lost a tyre. Kevin Hansen, tidy in the Joker. Niklas Gronom, I'm afraid, with a lap in traffic, wasn't able to get quite near enough. And with that gravel on the track for Liam Doran, as Dan Rook pointed out, turn 1 was very tricky indeed.
Kevin, it looks like it was hard work out there. A turn 1 incident, Liam ended up in the gravel. What was your opinion on that?
Yeah, I had a really good start. I was going to turn 1 and Liam came a bit from nowhere and hit me. I cannot disappear, man. So that was a bit of a shame. I really would like to fight with him on the track, so that was unfortunate. But I had a really good run. I hope the time was good. I did my maximum, I think, and I learned a lot from practice, so I'm happy with that, actually.
Give us a word on track limits here. How difficult is it in these conditions? So we've just heard Timozyanov has been disqualified from race 1 for track limits.
Yeah, we spoke about that yesterday. It's a ridiculous one in turn 5. If we touch it with the minimum of the bumper, we get a penalty, which I think is not rallycross, man. So that is really a shame. I really like Timur and I want to fight with him on the track, and it should not be rallycross like this. But I did my best. I kept away from the track markers. I had a radio every lap, don't touch them, because I have a warning from yesterday also. So no, we had a good run, and I hope Timur do well now as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, there you go. Kevin called it. I've got to be honest, I think a DQ is harsh. So you get a warning, Dan, then you get a 5-second penalty, then you get a DQ. But, I mean, you know, Tim is not going to be happy with that. The stewards are obviously being very, very harsh this weekend, and Kevin gave you his opinion of it. Yeah, I think a time... But if there's... Because as you can see, Backrad is the overnight TQ, and he's in with a bunch of guys here who are not World Championship, well, 2 that are not World Championship regulars, and 2 that are definitely not in the semi-finals at the minute. So Backrad is the TQ with a bad race yesterday in Q2, but he'd done enough in Q1 to hold on to that position overnight. So you're going to have to get a good start here. Sabo in the similar car on the outside, but Backrad has got it done immediately. Going to take it down to turn 1. Sabo going to maybe slot in behind Cyril Raymond. Raymond's going to spin. He's dropped it in turn 1. Cyril Raymond's in the gravel. So it's a disaster for him, and that's opened the door for Sabo to go P2.
Andrea Andreas Backerud is going to be loving that start. He knew what he had to do, and it's times like this where the pressure is on, where you're in amongst guys that maybe aren't going to be quite as quick as you, so he knows he had to get off the line in first, and that's what he did. But Cyril there, maybe a problem with the car. It didn't look to be. You normally can pull yourself out of a problem like that, and the car just came to a stop. So I'm not sure if
so potentially maybe an engine cut in the corner which caused the sideways, and then no engine to pull it forward.
Yeah. So these guys, when they have a big moment, use the four-wheel drive system to pull themselves out of it, and they go full gas. And with all four wheels driving, you can pull yourself out of an angle like that. But Cyril there was no wheel spin for him there. He just kind of cut out.
Backerud, I thought for a second was going to go Joker there with the attitude of the car, but they're just having to keep it super straight, and you can see why, because in the background there, straight away last end with a big sideways moment, you've got to get the car fully balanced down before you change pedals.
Yeah, and it's very hard on this turn 1-2 section, because the car goes so light and slightly sideways over turn 1. To get the car settled in a straight line for turn 2 is super difficult, so you've got to be very gentle with your inputs to get the car down and settled before you can make your transition to turn 2.
Backerud over the jump and into the open hairpin left, which completes the lap. This is where they wait so long. A bit earlier on the throttle there, which suggests there's a bit more traction on the exit now, Dan. So I wouldn't say it's drying, but we can certainly see there aren't the puddles that we saw before. It's going to make it tricky for these guys. We've got another 2 races to come. Who are probably going to get even quicker track.
Yeah, so we can definitely see a line there. You can see from our high-up camera there that there is a line forming where everybody is driving. And if you leave that line, then you're going to be losing grip. But then there's still that puddle there on the way into the velodrome. You can see that all that standing water on the way in.
Backerud with a huge amount of opposite lock as he gets onto the tar. More again, just gets the car bounced on the brake, and then look at that, beautifully over the curb. He's got a nice car underneath him, I think.
Yeah, very well balanced and not too much understeer. You tend to think if they turn in really softly like he is now, that the car would understeer, but with his pace.
Sabo spun on the exit of the fast corner at the bottom of the hill. Oh, he's avoided both sides by Raymond and by Larsen, as Andreas Backerud does the EDOX fastest lap of the day. So we're expecting that to go quicker and quicker, and he's very careful to avoid those track limits. Now this is the corner, I believe, on the right, which they're all saying about the track limit bollard on the inside there, because they want to run that curve, but they're not allowed to touch it. And I've had another message from race control. Basically, this is a judge of fact that makes this decision down. So basically they go, he touched it, and therefore it's a warning, it's a penalty, it's a DQ. So for Timmer, it's his third offence. It is harsh, but it's the rule, I guess.
Yeah, they have to draw a line somewhere, and it is a very hard job for the stewards.
It is a hard job, and to say judge of fact apparently as it can't be challenged, I think that means they can't really appeal the decision. So Backerud's going to be tight on the time. I think he's going to do it. He does. 3:24.8. He goes 1.3 seconds quicker than Kevin Hansen. So Backerud has beaten Kevin and Gronholm. Where was Gronholm and Kevin? So he was overnight TQ. Gronholm and Kevin down in 9th and 10th with 10 cars to go. I think it'll be a good result for them. And Sabo with
is that the drive shaft sticking out the side of the car there?
Out through the centre of the hub. Front left wheel. Look at Sabo's front left. That is, look at that. I've never ever seen that before. Now, Dan, the cars are designed, aren't they, so you can pull the shaft through the hub to change it quickly. But that almost looks like the shaft has gone through the UJ and out through the centre of the hub. That's bizarre. Backerud takes it from Paye Raymond, Larsen and Christian Szabo. Backerud goes to the top, but look at that, everybody else outside the top 8. So that was a great drive by Andreas Backerud. Still varied conditions out there. Off the start, Backerud just got it absolutely bang on the money. Szabo to Raymond. He kind of tapped the curb, didn't he? How did he get on after that? No, he still did good lap times, Dan, so he didn't have a problem with the car then. So what, rode the curb too high?
Yeah, maybe just that little bit too much rotation off of turn 1, and it was almost quite a slow one. There's Szabo's problem. That
broke on the exit, didn't it? Look, couldn't see on the front left there.
Didn't look like there was any contact of anything either, so a bit of a bizarre issue.
So Backerud with the win. He's the TQ man, and at the minute he leads Q3, but the track is drying.
That's the Andreas Backerud we want to see. You just said, where did the rest go? I mean, you did 4 good laps, but that all came down to the start.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't see anybody, and I drove my own race, and I don't know, I changed a new front bumper this race and I haven't even got any mud on it, so feeling confidence. Unfortunately, the weather isn't with me. It's drying up every lap now, so it will probably go faster, but I enjoy every moment with the Audi S1. The Quattro is working in the mud, and yeah, RX Cattell is doing a great job.
And a word for your Backward Blues, who are all about to cheer for you.
Backward Blue, I love you guys. Arigato KYB, let's take this.
Thank you.
KYB, the damper suppliers on the car, and of course they were here for a big test earlier this year with Matthias Ekström, so we know the car's good here. I'm not sure what conditions those were in. Oh dear, here comes that nightmare scenario. Look on the outside of your grid, two cars with identical surnames. They're not actually related. Kevin Eriksson and Sebastian Eriksson, they're around the other way. Sebastian is on the left of the two. So if you're wondering, Sebastian Eriksson has yellow mirrors, Kevin Eriksson has silver mirrors. So get ready for me and Dan Rook to still get it wrong. Here we go then, race 4, Q3. The track continues to dry. Will these guys be able to go faster than current leader Andreas Backer? Timo Scheider, 8th after Q2. Linnemann looked down in 18th, but had a reasonable run yesterday in Q2. Fabian Paye, Sebastian Eriksson and Kevin Eriksson. Sebastian and Kevin are both inside the top 7 at the minute. All on wets. It's the latest version of the OMSE Fiesta on the outside of the grid. Those guys, I'm sure, will play it safe. Green light, 3 clutch dips there. Scheider's going to get it on the run down. Oh, Kevin Eriksson moves across on Linnemann. All 3 of these cars run by MSE. So Kevin Linnemann into the side of Sebastian Eriksson. Sebastian Eriksson goes Joker. Linnemann having a look up the inside. But it is Kevin Eriksson who is on the standard lap behind Timo Scheider. Scheider, who is currently sitting in 7th, 8th place overnight.
Yeah, so a bit of a messy start there from the OMSE guys. They're going to be kicking themselves when they go back to the tent. All 3 of the supercars they're running this weekend in the one race, and they've all contact between the 3 of them.
If they're not kicking themselves, Andreas will be kicking them, won't he? Won't be very happy with that. I'm sure he's in the spotters town next door to us now, shouting at them on the radio. But Scheider in P8. He was at our hotel this morning, sat with him during breakfast. He was saying how he felt yesterday Q1 was just crazy, probably the craziest session he'd been in with just how much carnage there was in turn 1. Yeah, he was happy to be P8 because he's one of the guys who's had 2 pretty reasonable results, and he drops it. As I say that, Scheider drops it in the same place as Cyril Raymond. Gonna have to spin the car round. Oh, it's a disaster for Timo Scheider, and now I think he stalled the car in first gear. So Timo Scheider, just as we were saying, he'd had 2 good results yesterday, has spun the car in turn 1, and that means Kevin Eriksson leads. So Kevin Eriksson leads from Paye. Neither of these guys are joking. And Sebastian Eriksson is only 2.5 off the back of them.
Yeah, Sebastian is on a mission here to gain up on the back of them, and we saw pace from him yesterday in practice, actually only a 10th behind Timmy Hansen in dry conditions. But it's interesting to see what the car can do here. I'm not looking forward to the merge, because I'm not going to know which one's in front.
No, good shout. Yeah, that is a good shout. So it's 2.7 now. The gap's gone up by 0.2. So they might keep Kevin out for another lap and see if he can. Now it's down by 5. So it's 2.2 seconds now. Kevin Eriksson is going to go standard lap, and Sebastian Eriksson is on the back of this train already. At the minute, he'd take it by a second, according to our Joker predictor.
Yeah, Sebastian Eriksson's just got it hooked up, hasn't he? You can see the car control of him. He's drifting the car into the left-hander there, but he's doing a fantastic job. He hardly really drives, does he, through the year, and then shows up for a one-off world event, and this is why he can deliver.
Well, he's absolutely amazing. This is a bit like Weeman, isn't it? You know, there's so many good rallycross drivers out there. We'd love to see a few more of them with a budget to be able to compete at this high level. Sebastian Eriksson led the final here on his World RX debut in 2014. He broke the car on that very corner that he's just gone through. The gap is 2.6. So Eriksson leading from Paye. Sebastian Eriksson chasing Kevin down, and Paye, this has fallen into Kevin Eriksson's hands now because Paye is in the way of Sebastian Eriksson. Look at the gap that's built up. Going to be close between them. Kevin Eriksson goes Joker. Fabian Paye has not gone Joker lap, but he's missed it, surely.
Yeah, last lap.
And he still gets through, so Sebastian Eriksson still manages to get through.
This is going to be hurting his time now. He's got a dirty windscreen, which he didn't before, which impacts his visibility, but also just a car right in the way.
And Paye with the Cardinal see, and has missed the Joker. And that means Sebastian Eriksson, although he's got Kevin, as you say, he's losing time. And I reckon if you look at that gap, went up by a second, he could lose 2 or 3 seconds on his overall time here. So not what he needed. Sebastian and Kevin will be careful through the final corner. Ignore Paya, he's going to get a 30-second penalty. Checker flags out, he'll be disappointed now, but Sebastian Eriksson beats Kevin Eriksson. Sebastian Eriksson's time is a 3:29.0. So it's not enough. He goes in 5th place, and I'm not sure that even if he'd had clear track, they would have made the difference up. Scheider with that spin in turn 1. So he was feeling confident this morning, but that's not what he needed. Timo in P8, but I say, all to play for. P3 to P22, 14 qualifying points across it. We've had some people have been out in the wet already. Some are going to go slightly drier. You're just going to have to check the standings, and you're going to have to stay with us for Q4 later on. Sebastian Eriksson then takes it from Kevin Eriksson. Linnemann in 3rd place. Scheider 4th. Fabian Paya, 30-second penalty for missing the Joker. Here's where they slot in. So the top 4 look quicker than both of the Erikssons. How much were they held up? So this is the start, Dan.
Yeah, lots of clutch dips all the way along, people misjudging their RPMs, and then all 3 of the OMSE cars contact with Kevin Eriksson, and then contact with Sebastian Eriksson for Linnemann. So Linnemann getting bashed around a little bit in the Honda. And this is Scheider dropping it.
So it's a pretty similar mistake to Cyril Raymond in the previous race, isn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit too much speed over that crest, and as he lands, he hasn't got the grip to straighten himself out.
You'd transition that back in normal conditions, wouldn't you? Get it turned into turn 2, but that couldn't happen. This was when Kevin Eriksson had gone Joker. Sebastian Eriksson got in. Paye hadn't taken the Joker. It's a good run for the Erikssons. Not quite enough to win the session, though.
Sebastian, a great drive by you, but your Joker strategy was perfect, but a shame to get stuck behind Fabian.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shame. It worked out quite nice to go Joker the first lap, but unfortunately forgot to take the Joker, so I was a little bit held up on the last lap. But still, I think the track is getting slippier and slippier for each run, so we will see what times they will do in the heat up.
Thank you, well done.
So Sebastian Eriksson thinks the track is getting more slippery, and Dan Rook, actually, we just took our headphones off and you said exactly the same, Dan.
Yeah, so the track is in that position where I spoke about yesterday, where it's actually getting greasier as it dries. There's more mud being dragged onto the tarmac section, and with mud on tarmac is like driving on an ice rink, so it is very difficult. It sort of becomes a bit clammy rather than just wet, so it's harder for the tyres to cut through and find the traction.
Timmy Hansen very carefully looking down the dash and getting himself ready for a launch, so he's checked the settings. He'll have a little feel for that. It's a slightly downhill pre-launch here, but still maybe enough. We're hearing that there is a little bit of drizzle out there, which might make it slightly wetter again, but on board with Anton Markland as he does his pre-launch and slots the car onto the grid. We'll look for the lights to go green at the top of his start board. Eyes focused completely on getting it bang up to that jump start sensor. You can see when all those lights are green across the top. Reinis Nitti's the winner of Q2. Takes a deep breath, gloves on. It's going to be gloves off any minute now. Here we go then, final race of Q3. On the inside, Q2 winner Reinis Nitti's up to 5th after that rolling Q1. Incredible. Gunnar Schiesser at 6th. Kevin Abbring in 3rd. Another brilliant result for him. Markland is 2nd, but Timmy Hansen, the World Championship leader, is down in P16. The rain has started falling again. The track, we think, is maybe going backwards in terms of grip levels. It was greasy because it wasn't wet enough. Now it's raining again. We're going to see what happens here. Kevin Abbring tips the clutch to Timmy Hansen with a great start. Nittisch up the inside, so Nittisch gets past Schiesser. Timmy Hansen backs them up through turn 1. Reinis Nittisch going to follow him surely. Schiesser goes Joker, Kevin Abbring goes with him. Anton Markland's gone on the standard lap, so tidy work between Timmy Hansen and Schiesser. Abbring there following Schiesser out of the Joker lap.
For me, I don't think Abbring really wanted to be following Schiesser into the Joker lap. He was behind him as they were going towards the standard lap and went to dip out, but Shisharit went with him as well. So maybe the GCK guys realising what would be happening with the ES guys and getting in there out of the way.
You can see the dirt there down on the exit of Velodrome that's in the road, which is where the cars are going really sideways just before that new curve. Nitish, I think, good decision to follow Timmy. So Nitish, yes, although he won Q2, Shisharit was right with him, and we know this car, the Hyundai, is very, very capable. So Nitish, not with as much seat time as these other guys, won't be bad for him to be behind Timmy.
No, it will play into his hands because, you know, Timmy isn't a slow driver. He's leading the World Championship as he goes into the Joker lap now.
So that must be to protect from Shisharit behind. Rainis Nitish has gone Joker. What do they say? Shisharit's actually a long way behind. That's interesting. So Nitish has gone early. For me, he was losing a bit of time to Timmy. He still had time behind. That's a surprising decision. Dan, what are your thoughts?
I think maybe they've got him in there so that he's got that little bit of clear track, because as we were riding on board with him, as we're going to ride on with Markland now, but you can see the spray and lots of mud there.
Yeah.
From going on the inside of the curb, the new curb, as they exit the velodrome. But when you're riding that close behind someone where Nitish was with Timmy, the mud spray is so distracting. So getting Nitish in the Joker has given him a little bit of a clearer windscreen.
Here we go. Listen for Markland's throttle. And then full gas on the exit now. So Nitish, the leader of the three cars that have jokered. Timmy Hansen hoping for a good result here because I say it's P16. Markland goes Joker, so Markland's gone now. Hansen versus Nitish on your predictor. But we're looking at Nitish versus Markland, so Nitish has got Markland. And at the minute, Timmy Hansen would still lead according to our predictor, so we thought he was edging Nitish just slightly. Markland was gaining on Rainis. So I wonder if they sent Rainis, you know, because they could see Markland's lap times.
In Sector 1, Rainis took half a second out of Timmy on this lap.
Oh, Markland sideways! Just about holds on. Damn, that is so slippery there with the dirt on the tarmac. Skills from Markland to hang on to that. Look at the dirt flying in the background. Shisharit makes a mistake. Off the side of the track, Ebring is off the back of this pack. He's 8.3 off the leader, Timmy Hansen. What's the gap going to be? It was 3.9, it's 4.3. So Nitish did a good job in Sector 1, but Hansen's nailed it over the rest of the lap. Timmy Hansen through the Joker lap now. He's going to watch those contact points on the outside. Misses them perfectly. Nitish over the jump and will slot in pretty much a similar gap that he was behind Timmy before he went Joker.
Yeah, so giving him that bit of clear air didn't quite pay off for him, but like I said in the lap before, blistering Sector 1 and then dropped it for the rest of the lap, so Timmy did a great job too.
So he has to do a great job. You're looking at the World Championship leader as he feeds the opposite lock-in in 4th, 5th gear, down the hill, grits his teeth, down a gear, 3:24.8. He needs to be there or thereabouts. Got to score big points here. He has to make it through to the semi-finals. Round that long left-hander, he's going to wait on the throttle. The time's gone. The time's gone. Where's Timmy going to be? 3:25.8, he drops into P2. He's only a second off. That's what Timmy Hansen needed. That's maybe going to drag him into the top 12. Nitish takes P2. Markland, Ebring and Shisharit complete this race. So Timmy Hansen, what a drive in these tricky conditions. Really well done. There he is. That'll be a big sigh of relief. You can see the look on his face. He knows that's job done. Timmy Hansen takes it from Rainis Nitish, Anton Markland, Kevin Ebring and Gulan Shisharit. 10 seconds splitting the field. Hansen, Nitish and Markland slot in, but the most important about Markland off the start, lost out here, didn't he? You see Timmy go away like that's gutting. Then you see three cars on your right, Dan, you know it's gone.
Yeah, for me it looked like Markland had a lot of wheel spin there. You can see the dashboard lights as he left the line just flashing at him, so not getting his RPM correct and just dropping behind.
Those conditions, up at the top particularly, that the left-hander on the exit velodrome, normally it's a nothing. It's just somewhere where you're just pulling gears, you know, but it's so sideways up there.
Yeah, I think now that they've added the curve there, there's almost like an extra point where they can hook the car on the inside to try and to get it. You can see here now with Markland touching the curb, and then it unsettled the car before the dirt, and then a big sideways again. So yeah, it's added almost another feature, hasn't it?
Shisharit adding another gravel section there, running a little bit wide off the track, but Timmy Hansen doing the perfect job. And look at this, through the chicane, you can see how careful he is to avoid all the markers. Timmy Hansen goes P2 in Q3. That might well book him a slot in the semis.
Timmy, that's exactly what you needed. Second quickest in the session, but
grip level. Even entry, middle, exit, it can vary how much grip you have. So it's so hard to be fast around here. This was quite a safe run for me because I knew we were in the lead, and obviously after yesterday we were 16th overall. But yeah, now P2. I think we're in the game again, and yeah, it feels great with a good result.
Well done, Tack.
Thank you.
Here are the standings at the end of Q3, and what a difference a session makes. Timmy Hansen and Kevin Hansen were in, well, Kevin was in P9 and Timmy was in P16. Those results have catapulted them up to second and third. The World Championship leader and P2 man are right up there with Andreas Backerud, who holds on to his TQ. And look at the points on the right. Backerud, I think, pretty much guaranteed TQ here at Hollius. Markland is fourth, Gronholm fifth, Nitish in sixth, Sebastian Eriksson and Kevin Eriksson. So we've got three drivers in the top eight there who are not World Championship regulars. Bachuska, Kevin Abrings just hanging on in P10 there with Shishrit. Baumanis is in. Plenty of people still hoping that they might find a slot here at the famous Hollius circuit. What a recovery from the Hansens. I didn't think it would see Timmy go from 16th to there. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about earlier on before the session started, the points gap in the qualifying. And for him to get a P3, it gives him, well, even more of a buffer because the top three guys get, you know, that little bit extra points. We see Backward with 50 and then Timmy at 45. And then when it goes down to sort of only to fifth place, it drops by 1 point. So having that extra couple of points as well from his P2 has just rocketed him up there.
Backward, of course, will be pleased to hold on to the TQ, but he's not going to be pleased to see those two guys behind him because he's going to have to fight them on track, but also they're going to haul enough points that he's going to struggle to close that gap down. So we've got one more session left to go. Okay then, RX2 are on the line. We've got another man here who's been penalised for track limits in Oliver Eriksson in the middle of your grid. Anders Menschlag, Oliver Eriksson and Peter Leerhol, sorry. Leerhol yesterday, of course, Dan had the all-black car and had an absolutely massive shunt, didn't he? He rolled the car several times. I think it was several times, wasn't it? We've had a few people roll cars, so... But anyway, Eriksson away from the line, Leerhol on the outside, Mitchell. These guys are all quick. Mitchell's been quick on the start all weekend. Oliver Eriksson just shuts the door on him. But yeah, Ollie Eriksson yesterday then done for the same thing Timosiano has been done for.
Yeah, Ollie actually got 10 seconds worth of penalties from his Q3 race, which bogged him right down the order. He's still sitting second overall in the qualifying, but yeah, this race in particular, it dropped him down to 20th with a 10-second penalty. It wasn't the greatest race from either, with a lot of traffic and a few issues. And I went and spoke to Andreas Eriksson yesterday, and I think he was telling me that Oliver actually hit the penalties by trying to avoid an incident in front of him and then knock the markers.
See, now that's a difficult one. So what we're saying here, I've had it explained to me during the session, is there's a judge of fact. Now, judge of fact, you have them in rallies, sometimes it's chicanes and stuff, and basically they say, did he hit the chicane or not? So it's like a line, isn't it? Yes, he hit the thing. But if he's hit it avoiding another car, well, you know, there's got to be some leniency there. So, I don't know. I find track limits a bit tricky.
Yeah, it is very difficult, especially with rallycross. You know, we heard Kevin Hansen saying earlier that he's not happy with it. He wants to see a bit of corner cutting and everything else. And, you know, they're rally cars. Rally cars do cuts.
Make a bigger curve that you can't cut. We tried that in Latvia, of course. They still drove over it. But, yeah, I don't know. I like the curve, the corner before Velodrome. We'll watch for Eriksson going around it, where you see them going all the way up the curb and over the grass on the inside. There's no point in going any further because there's nothing to gain. So I'd kind of like to see curves like that everywhere. I mean, like here I get it because, you know, it's a flat curve, it's high speed, you can't build a big curve there because too many people drop it coming off the jump. So you've got to take safety into it too. But I mean, you know, Hollius has got a decent design, I think, for the most part. Into the Joker goes Michalak. He avoids the markers. Certainly they're going to be getting told, aren't they, on the radio that they've got to get that done.
Yeah, it's such a risky thing, isn't it, for the guys? They've just got to be so careful not to hit the markers.
Ericsson through that very slippery section. But Dan, these guys without 600 horsepower, they're not lighting the wheels up like we see in quite the same way.
Just looking at Ollie Ericsson's lap time on that last lap is a 50.9, and I think Timmy's lap time, or Andreas, was a 49.4 in the Supercar World RX. So RX2 cars in the wet, they really show how good a piece of kit they are.
Yeah, they do. And as I say, like if you look at Exeter Velodrome, they're not getting that wheel spin in the same way. So maybe these guys don't have to. Of course, they have to have good throttle control, but they're not having to feather it everywhere, are they?
No, you can get away with dropping your foot on the throttle and getting a bit heavy-footed. I mean, we're seeing the track is very slippery still at the moment, so they're going to be a bit careful, but it's mainly with the weight transitions which is hard, especially with these cars being a mid-engine.
Ericsson down the hill for the last time on this run. We know how quick he is, so this is going to be the target time for everyone else. He is currently P2, and he would very much like to take the TQ, especially as the man who's sitting TQ at the minute is Jesse Callio, who had a shocker yesterday in Q1 and got super lucky in Q2 when he had a dry race and everyone else's was wet. So Ericsson sets a time of 3:31.2, which would have been enough for 11th in World RX. But we should point out, so you can see again here the track's drying, so it's maybe now Dan gone past the slimy stage which the world guys were complaining about in the second to last race and going towards Gripsville again.
Yeah, it's difficult with those fine lines.
Ericsson takes it from Michalak and Learhol. Only 3 to have run so far. We have another 4 races of RX2.
So here's the start. Ollie Ericsson maybe not quite getting the jump like we normally see him get, but Michalak backing out of the turn 1 incident, which could have resulted in Ollie going to the gravel on the outside. So good driving by Michalak there, and he knows Oliver is a fast driver as well, so good for him to be following him. As we see Michalak go over the curbs there of a slight mistake.
He was close to that marker as well on the exit of the Joker. I know we keep talking about it, but you know, if the stewards have made that decision and told them all in the driver's briefing, then they've got to avoid them. It's just easier said than done in wet, slippery conditions. But Ericsson did a good job there. There you go. This is how you have a track limit. Look, a big old curb like that. Love it. Ericsson leads at the moment.
Oliver, that's just what you needed, a good, fast, clean race. And it's actually raining quite heavily now. So do you think that time will be beaten in this session?
It's hard to say, you know, we can't really control the weather. And we saw yesterday, it turns really quickly here in Helge. So hopefully, you know, it's enough. We did what we could. And big shout out to Michalak there. He let me go in turn 1, and we both have a clean race after that. So it was very smart of him, and I thank him for that. And yeah, hopefully a good time, and we see how far we reach.
Well done, thank you.
Thank you.
For a minute there, I thought he was going to say hopefully it's going to rain really hard, which is exactly what I would have said, because of course he was on the receiving end of not great weather yesterday, while his competitor Callio had literally a bone dry race, didn't he? And the very next race was like, you might as well have had a powerboat.
Yeah, the very next race, the guys didn't even have time to change to the wets, and well, they were dropping like 10 seconds a lap. There's the rain we can see there. We can't actually see it out of our commentary position. It kind of looks like it's brightening up for us, but obviously wipers are on, it's raining.
We'll have a look out the back window in a minute and see if we can see if there's any clouds coming in from there. Oh, there we go. That is the back window. Thanks very much. That gives you the shot that we needed to see. So, yeah, no, look, it's mixed. They said it wasn't going to rain again today, but they said it wasn't going to rain at 9 o'clock this morning. Lavera, Acra and Gunderson, so we should expect Gunderson to do the business here. Gunderson yesterday got given a penalty, didn't he, for contact, and we down through. Lavera gets a big squeeze there from Acra, and Lavera's door was open for a second, both in the corner and on the car. Acra goes Joker, Lavera goes standard lap. Door seems to be shut now, but yeah, Gunderson was forceful, let's say, yesterday.
Yeah, really trying to stamp his ground, I suppose you could say, but for me it was slightly too aggressive driving, and then the stewards also thought that, so he ended up with a 5-second time penalty off the back of his Q3 race, which had a lot of contact in.
Talking of contact, we have an investigation. With 2 investigations now in World RX. So, okay, Supercar Q3. We've got Abring and Shisharit are under investigation. We didn't see that, I don't think, unless it was in turn 1, but we had enough going on out front. But also Cyril Raymond 113 with Kjetil Larsen. That contact's under investigation. So I wonder, did Cyril get, was it turn 1 that he span?
Yeah.
Did he get a tap maybe from Larsen that we didn't see?
I think he kind of went around on his own. It might have been when he was catching up to the back.
Later in the race. Okay. I wondered if Kevin might get investigated for the contact with Liam, but I think turn 1 you kind of got to let it go, haven't you, to a certain extent, when everyone's moving that quickly and it's such a changing situation. Yeah, Kevin certainly wouldn't have done it on purpose, and Liam's not the kind of bloke to go and appeal.
For me, I think Liam turned across the front of Kevin in that situation.
Yeah, there you go. Acra trying to find a way past Lavera. Acra's jokered already, so he's losing time now. Overnight, it's time Frederick Acra's 17th.
Runs wide and Acra's up the inside after the jump.
Nicely done. They need a reasonable result. Look at the point situation in RX2. Yeah, I mean, there's 95 points for Michalak in 18th. And 105 points for Hogland in 7th. So again, there's only 10 qualifying points between 7th and 18th down. Yesterday was a weird one, wasn't it? Because of that dry session, wet session, and particularly in World where the grids were reversed. If the grids hadn't been reversed, I think Timmy Hansen wouldn't make the semis here.
Yeah, it would have been very, very difficult for him to have been able to have pulled it back this morning. And yeah, it mixed it up. It was a fantastic day yesterday, and well, we're on for the same again today, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, it's a great sport. We hope you guys enjoy watching it at home. We really do. I know we go off-piste a fair bit, but we enjoy bringing you the action. And I really hope you guys are enjoying watching it at home. So let us know where you're watching from. Hashtag WorldRX, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can find the official championship on there. You can find myself, Dan Rook, and Neil Cole on there as well if you like. We do a few little posts over the course of the weekend. We really hope you're enjoying it. Thanks for all your messages. We do try and read them and reply when we can, but yesterday was the busiest day I think we've ever had with such a massive entry here at the Classic Hollier circuit. But certainly get in touch with the official account and let them know where you're watching from. Post us a flag. Who do you think's going to win? What do you think about Timmy Hansen in that last session? Kevin Hansen being right up there. What do you think about track limits? Come on, let us know.
You can even wear a chair.
Yeah, he did yesterday. We all know who won yesterday wearing the sofa. Gunderson around the left hand. If you missed it, you're going to have to watch Q2, I'm afraid. Go back and find it on Facebook and YouTube. It's worth watching anyway. Incidentally, I got a message off our sofa wearer who said that their mum walked out and would not have been happy, and then apparently saw the picture on Instagram and definitely wasn't happy. So
brilliant.
Good on you. Yeah, good on you. Gunderson, Frederick Acra and Lovera finished the race. Gunderson does a 3:32.8, so 1.6 off the back of Ericsson, but quicker than Michalak. Some of the fans have got their capes on out there. Gunderson, Acra and Lovera, there's their result. Here's where they slot in. Peter Leerhol a little way off the back of those guys, so maybe something's still wrong with the car after yesterday.
Ben Phillip getting the jump off the line there, fastest reactions, and then also hooking it up with the traction and managing to get away. But I'm not too sure if track conditions are improving. Acra into the back of Lovera there, getting quite aggressive, wanting to find his way through, and then this is Lovera running wide on the way into the last corner, and Acra filling that hole and making up a place.
Giving him a little push as well on the exit there, just yeah, thanks for being in the way. You're not allowed to just push your way through, but he did a decent pass in the end. So Gunderson though, great drive there.
Ben Phillip, it must be a relief to get a clean race without having to battle with other drivers out there. How was it?
Yeah, it's been a very hard weekend with many battles, so it was very good to drive clean now.
And talk us through just how slippery that track is.
It's very, very slippery. You just have to wait, and it's hard to drive.
Well, it's a good time. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
For those people who've got an area taped off, look at that. There's a little square area taped off under the tree. It's very territorial, but I quite like it.
This is my square.
Yes, out. red and white, you know, scary tape where you think, I'm not sure, can I cross that? Go allowed in that section?
Maybe they should add some yellow. Yellow's always scary.
Yeah, or like crime scene or something, you know?
Yeah, police, do not cross.
Yes. You would believe it here too. You'd be like, oh my God, what happened last night? we went for a drive down Happy Street last night. Yeah, it was wild as usual. It was raining and people were still out. It was just having a carnage party, all people with awnings and stuff and sofas, and great fun. Askland, Volders, Trogan, Haug and Nilsson.
Jumpstart Volders.
Cheers. 2 jokers for him.
Where is Volders? It's down in P15.
So that's potentially going to see him not make it, isn't it? Unless the track conditions have changed and he's become a real legend. Well, we know the track conditions haven't changed enough, Dan. If anything, you know, with the little bit of drizzle and then it's stopping again, they might go backwards again. I'm interested to see. Don't forget, World RX Q4 will come up after. So we've got 3 more races of RX2, and we've got 5 races of Euro RX, which is well worth hanging around for, and then on to Q4. Now we're waiting for the grids for Q4, and we're waiting for official results. Although you guys have seen the results, I know, after Q3. There's a couple of people under investigation. Unbelievably long hold there again. Trogan seems to get a good start on the outside. Nilsson does as well on the inside. Hogland. Hogland's going to get the Askland. Askland's got the whole shot. Nilsson's going to go Joker. Surely he does. So Nilsson goes into the Joker. Askland on the standard lap, and it's Sami Matti Trogan who's gone with Askland.
Nilsson there, quite an aggressive way into the Joker lap, really squeezing Askland and shooting his way in, but there is a bit of a dry line there, so he had to hold it quite tight, otherwise he would have been out in the really slushy mud on the outside.
So you think he planned to go Joker and that's why he held the tight line? I wasn't sure if he was going to try and squeeze Askland and try and go around him into turn 1, but you're never going to get around the outside. Oh, sorry, turn 2. You're never going to get around the outside into turn 2, realistically, are you?
No, I mean, it could be possible in the dry, but Sami Matti looking up the inside of Askland after a mistake over the jump, and Askland then running wide onto the wet part of the track.
The jump here, Dan, we rode around the track yesterday on bikes, and the run up to it, you know, if you have 2 white lines at the side of the track, you have mud, so Trogan goes Joker. Watch for Nilsson on the inside, then we'll get back to the jump. We'll talk about the jump when we get round there. So Nilsson over, he's going to get Sami Matti Trogan. Trogan held up a little bit there in that fight with Askland. But yeah, we're going to see the jump in a minute. You kind of want white lines, don't you, up the side, which obviously disappear on the dirt sections. They do paint them at some of the circuits. You can see the white lines down this edge here, and it gives you an idea of trajectory. And by that I mean the angle at which you are pointing the car. Now, the first jump in turn 2, there's a tree which all the drivers point at. Sounds mad, but it's true. This one, it's really hard to know where you're going over the jump, which is why I think we see so many people go off to the side.
Yeah, and you carry so much momentum off of the right-hander before it as well that you run wide and you're not able to pull it back in by the speed that you're going. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you do run 2 wheels off the track. It kind of squashes the jump in a way. But yeah, you don't really know where you are on the track until you're like in the air after you leave that jump.
So when the bonnet comes back down and you see the road, it's like yay or nay, basically.
Yeah, so you really want to be seeing the tarmac. If you're looking at grass, then that's not very good.
Not ideal. Not ideal. Trogan tries a high line, see if he can get around Nilsson. Nilsson is running his own car this weekend. Gets out of his own team. Seems to be going okay. Where was Nilsson overnight? He was P12, so he does need a good run here. He wants to guarantee that slot in. Sami Matti Trogan was in P8. Trogan has qualified 5th, 7th, 4th and 7th. So Sami Matti Trogan not quite as high up as he normally would be. Askland going to go Joker now. Watching for Nilsson on the inside. The gap's only 2.8, but there's still a lot of dirt on the apex of turn 2. I think Askland's got enough just to avoid it. He hasn't. Had to back right out, didn't he, to avoid the marker on the apex of the exit of the Joker lap.
Yeah, Askland made a mistake there on the way in, run too wide on the first part of the corner, and it meant that the second part of the Joker lap was extra tight and had to scrub off so much speed.
So couldn't nail the throttle early.
No, had to really get back out of it.
Nilsson going to take this one, barring any mistakes towards the end of the lap. Oh, as we say that. Both Trogan and Askren run a bit wide. 3:31.2 is the time of Ollie Eriksson. He's not going to get that clearly. But Nilsson goes third fastest, 4.5 off the leader, but that's great for him because there are only 2 races left to come. I say he was P12, so he knows he's going to be sort of P12 in this session. Just depends whether the people that still to come were behind him or ahead of him last night. And I say with 2 crazy sessions yesterday, frankly, we don't know until we see the results. So Nilsson, Trogan, Askren, Haugen, Volders. Eriksson and Gundersen still leading from Nilsson. So watch for the middle car and the 2 outside cars. Trogan hooks it up, Nilsson moves across, but it's Askren who's on the inside, so Trogan has to go third. Nilsson then comes right around the... No, he was going Joker, wasn't he? So, and he did manage to stay on that tight line. Slid the car in with good confidence and managed to hold on. This was Askren and Trogan. Trogan just a little nudge there, letting him know he's here.
Yeah, Askren making a mistake over the jump, so Trogan just applying the pressure, trying to make him crack, but he then decided to go Joker and get himself out of the way.
This was Askren's Joker, so Dan said he made a mistake on the way in, and we didn't see that, but you do see on the way out he takes plenty of curb, but you need to be on the gas basically from the kind of the apex of the first part of the Joker. This was Trogan on the last lap. Askren had used a little bit of dirt on the outside as well, but good job. William Nilsson takes it and is third.
William, that was a really good race. It looked nice and tight, but that early Joker was essential.
Yeah, I think so. That was the key to win this race, because you earn so much to take the Joker at the first lap, because, especially when it's so wet like this heat, because they're braking so early just not to slip too wide to the first corner. So I gained a lot to take the Joker in the first lap.
Well, it paid off. Well done. You're P3 at the moment.
Thank you, thank you.
Cars doing their starts. The poor old marshals, they look a bit disappointed that they're basically we've got the automatic sensors now that so they still go and do the job of removing it. They used to have to edge the cars forward, but for the drivers I think the consistency of the automatic system is much better.
Yeah, it's important to have that, especially in a world championship. It needs to be a level playing field across every round.
Yeah, first year I believe we used different start lights everywhere we went, so we had to have a start light procedure, and the drivers would all go to the pre-grid and watch it. And you know, some circuits were green on, some were red off. It was different things, and then say the timing partners, Chronomoto developed a system which was the ready to race lights going out. Have a look at it. So up at the top with the EDOX branding. Ready to race light goes out. It's then a random gap before the green light comes on. So EDOX our timing sponsors, and the timing provided by Hungarian timing partners who do a fantastic job. Suppliers, I should say, they bring the stuff. EDOX with our fastest lap times, of course, during the course of the weekend, and the fastest time of the day too. Very nice watches which we had at Silverstone. They're normally on display at IMG if you'd like to go and have a look at their wares. Some interesting lines through Velodrome now, Dan. The puddle before it has gone. You almost wonder if the high line is a bit drier.
Yeah, you can see some people taking the high line, and we'll see next lap as they come through there that there is a bit of a dry line higher up, but then they're driving that much further on the track that you don't know if it's actually an advantage or not.
Oh, Engeland on the throttle too early as it opened the door for Olofsson, going to be on the dirt. Olofsson, I think, will get by. Engeland's been brave there. Oh, Olofsson in the dirt, over the curb. Oh! And Engeland's gone Joker with zero choice. To be fair, I mean...
Puncher for Olofsson.
I thought so when he went over the curbs.
Yeah. So
what do you think about that? Because Engeland was offline in the hairpin, Olofsson was up his inside. Engeland then braved it out into turn one and maybe a little nudge on Olofsson around the outside. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, he did have a right to try and hold his inside line there, I feel, but in terms of what he needs for qualifying, it would have been better for him to back out and then just work together, because he's now lost a couple seconds in overall race time with the battle.
And Olofsson's lost a tyre, so Olofsson was in P6, so this is not good. Simon Olofsson, and he gets nudged wide by Enland again. This time he won't be happy about that because he'll see Enland as the enemy right now because of what happened on the previous lap. So going to run wide again. He'll let the positions go because there's nothing to be gained by not doing so. Goes Joker. At least it's a rear, Dan.
Yeah, at least it is a rear because you can kind of control the oversteer a bit easier than understeer. It's so hard, especially in the wet, to try and make a car turn in when one of your steering tyres isn't on the rim.
Walfredson, the only man not to have jokered. People starting to lean on the car a bit more down the hill. We saw Liam drop it there yesterday in the wet. We've seen a few people having issues coming down the hills. Markland all crossed up, didn't we? I mean, it was so slippery during that session, but you can see these guys leaning on a bit more, and yet the hairpin here, for me, is still super, super slippery.
Yeah, very slippery, and to be honest, I think the track conditions are going backwards still. You can just see there looks like a line, but I think that line that we're seeing is sort of grimy, slimy stuff.
Oscarson coming around the standard lap, going to get past Walfredson. Tidily done, runs every bit of the curve, and finally you can see the sunshine. We can see shadows. Walfredson clatters the marker on the inside, so he's going to get a track marker warning for that. I'm sure we can see a track marker warning now for William Nilsson. So Nilsson's had a warning. Walfredson will get a warning. And we also saw a warning for driver conduct between, I think it was Acra hitting Lavera. So we saw that, didn't we? But Lavera was, to be fair, was going slightly slower than him, but Acra gave him a good old tap, and the stewards have said, come on, sunshine, that's not cool. Walfredson gives it the send on the exit, but you can see what time that costs him. Doesn't matter, he still takes P2, but, Walfredson would maybe have been 0.3 off instead of 1.3. That's what Dan Rook's been saying all weekend. You've got to be patient with the throttle. Look at Olofsson. He's sideways because one of the tyres is missing.
Tidy though.
Yeah, nice line. Be a good setup there. Oscarson, Walfredson, Enland, Kaliamaki and Olofsson. Oscarson's actually done really well there. Look, Walfredson into 5th, Enland into 8th. We kind of should expect these guys to be going quick because of the way the track's developing, but is it at the slimy stage or are we getting towards the quick bit?
Take a look at the replay then. All 3 of the guys with the yellow on the front of their car getting the best of starts, but it was Walfredson got caught out a bit and knocked backwards as Oscarson went for the early joker lap, which later on paid off.
So this was Enland and Olofsson. Before Olofsson, so Enland runs wide. Watch this. Olofsson gets a run on him, but Enland's like, I'm going to pin it anyway. It was only a nudge, but you can see when you go that hard into the gravel, that sideways, any tyre's going to get knocked off the rim.
Yeah, it's such thick gravel, and you can see there how much of a trouble it is. That's when he would have realised the tyre was gone after that jump, and he's going, oh, hang on a minute, I'm heading towards the barrier, so had to back his driving right off for the rest of the race.
He's in P15, unfortunately, Olofsson, thanks to that puncture. There we go. That's the way it goes. We'll see whether or not he makes the semis very soon indeed.
Matt, a big smile on your face when you pulled up to this interview spot. You look like you enjoyed that.
Yeah, this was fun. I love the wet.
But it looks like it's drying, so how slippery is it?
Yeah, but the gravel gets on the tarmac and then it's very slippery, so we need to take it easy, so that's fun.
Well done, Tech.
Thank you.
Always fun when you're winning, and Oscarson with a P3 there with only 5 cars still to come. Oscarson was in 10th, so that's great. That's going to give him a P8, and I think that's going to guarantee him a spot in the semis, and he'll know that. So he'll be really pleased because he's racing at home and not one of our regular drivers either. So, on a one-off outing down at home. Oh, look, there's a Heikkinen fan club here. Heikkinen is actually here, Toppy spotting for Nitish.
Yeah, I wonder if he's paid a visit to the fans.
I'm sure he will have done. There's a couple of different Toppy fan clubs online. I've had interactions with a couple of them. The German boys, I think it is. Well, Dan, I don't like to talk about it, but yeah, the Heikkinen boys might be here. I know they often head down to Estering with their banners up there. Hogland, Callio, Gryazin, McConnell and Osland. McConnell's got a good start outside Gryazin, gives them all a bit of space, and look at that, gets onto the dry line, but unfortunately that hasn't paid off. So I think McConnell went out to the dry there. Callio is going to end up going into the joker sideways. McConnell's decided to go with them. Yeah, Fraser for me moved off the wet onto the dry there. I thought trying to find traction.
To me, it looked like he had a bit of attack from Östlund on the back wheel, which meant he had to correct it, which put him out wide. We'll have a look on the replay, I'm sure. But
Hawkeye doesn't miss a thing, eh? Dan Rook yesterday, if you were here, was spotting all sorts of stuff. He's half my age, so you know, I don't mind him having much faster reactions and eyesight than me. He does a great job with us all season this year. Hogland sideways, up and over the jump. Dryers in, having a look. They need to be watching out for Kallio. Kallio's on them already. So Kallio is less than 2 seconds off the back of them. It was 2.4. What is it now? 2.1. So he's taken another 0.3 off them, and I'm afraid that isn't enough either way. Kallio is, look at this. He's closing them down, Dan.
Yeah, he's just eating into the time, isn't he? We'll see after the next split how much he's taken out of them, but he's all over them already.
So Kallio's got lucky for me both times with the weather. Now, I know Oskarsson said a minute ago that he felt it was still slippery out there, but we are now seeing, literally in the space of minutes, a proper dry line. Kallio, yes, it was the only driver of the quick guys to get a run in bone-dry conditions.
Yeah, but that was bad luck from his Q1 race, and his luck has turned around, so...
Yeah, he had a puncture, didn't he, in Q1? Lost a ton of time there, and he's got a bit lucky since. So for me, I mean, it's good, isn't it, to see the championship fight continue. I wonder whether or not he'll be able to take the TQ from Kevin Eriksson. 2.0, so only took a 10th off them on that last lap. This year, Kallio got the TQ in Belgium, but the TQ has gone to Eriksson at every other round. Now, Eriksson, of course, got a couple of track marker penalties yesterday, which saw him drop down.
His lap times aren't quite there. Ollie Eriksson had a 50.9 lap time, and Kallio on a 41.4 so far, so maybe not quite up to speed of Eriksson, but it just depends on whether he's consistent across the whole race.
And also the difference. Hogland off on the inside and then the outside. Look at that, into the deep gravel. What happened there, Dan? Looked like either a steering thing. Did he clip a curb on the inside on the way in? He looked like a passenger through the fast right.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the car unsettled on the brakes on the way down the hill. I'm sure we'll get another look through the replays, but yeah, he just came into shot out of control, didn't he?
Battle over for Grierson. Grierson's going to go Joker, but Kallio's only 1.7 back. I think Östlund might go through. Grierson could shut the door, but he's not quite close enough. So Linus Östlund takes the position from Grierson. Look at the deflection of the suspension over the bumpy curbs on the inside. Fraser McConnell on the back of this train. Fraser was in P3. So Kallio was TQ coming into this round. Eriksson was in P2. Fraser McConnell was in P3. And Eriksson was 4 points off the back of Kallio. So if Kallio here can go P2, he will definitely... will he take the TQ? What's the difference? 5 points is the difference. It might be enough if he's not. If Eriksson is quicker than Kallio, it might not be enough. 331.2, 331.7. So Eriksson has beaten Kallio by 5/10 of a second. So that's going to mean he's going to get 50 points and Kallio will get 45.
That'll be enough for Elliot to win qualifying for RX2.
Goodness me. Hogland with a DNF, McConnell's fourth, Grierson in third, Östlund second. Kallio, we think, is 5/10 of a second shy of taking the TQ spot. There's Eriksson, look, who takes it. And that should be enough with our rubbish live maths to see him take the TQ. Find out for you in just a second.
So here's the replay of the start. We'll see who was right between me and Coley here. So, I don't know, maybe not.
I think we were both wrong. I'll take that. I'll take over being beaten. I'll take it. It's funny, wasn't it? Say, it looked like you moved across, but maybe the slightest rubber paint across Östlund on the front, but didn't pay off. But I mean, Fraser hasn't lost too much time there, and I think he's going to be pretty high up in the standings. Ideally, you want front row in the semi-finals, Dan.
Yeah, that's there. We see the instant with Hogland as it just looks like he got it all wrong on the brakes and cut across the curb before the jump and broke the steering. He's had to beach the car there.
Grierson into the Joker, beaten by Kallio and Östlund in this one. Good drive by Kallio, but we think he's missed out on the TQ by 1 qualifying point.
Yes, he took us through that race. It looked like a good race from your perspective.
Yeah, again, the start was really tight, but I managed to do the Joker on the first lap and got got clean laps, and I saw Höglund crashed out of the corner, so I just pushed and passed Vasily going to the no when he went to the choker, so it's good.
And we've just heard it wasn't quite enough to get top qualifier.
Yeah, I don't know, yeah. I pushed everything I can.
See you in the semis.
Yeah, thank you.
He's disappointed. His voice gave it away, and he has indeed missed the TQ. Oliver Eriksson takes it by 1 qualifying point. Super close between them. Kallio got the punchy, then got lucky with the weather, whereas Eriksson, you can see, didn't. But, you know, that's the way it goes. So Eriksson takes another TQ. That is his 4th TQ of the season. Kallio is 2nd. Gryzin, McConnell's 4th. So those 4 guys on the front rows. Linus Ostlund, whose father runs this circuit, is in 5th. Ben Philip Gundersen 6th. Then it's Enlund Oscarson in 8th. Trogan's made it, Nilsson's made it, Walfridsson and Olofsson, but I'm afraid Mitchelak, Hogland, Kaliamaki, Frederick Acker and everyone below are out for this weekend. Top 16 score points, but the top 12 make it to the semis. The sun is shining here at Holliers. It's going to dry up a fair bit here, I think. The Euro RX supercars are waiting in the pre-grid to come out here for their Q4 session. And then, of course, we'll be on to World Rallycross after that. So we're going to take another look back at the incident from this last race where we saw a straight on. So we're going to have a little look and see if we can figure out what happened, Dan. It was quite late on the shots. I'm not sure we'll be able to see any more, but let's take a look if we can. So Hogland down the hill. Turning it.
Steering already broken from there, maybe. Yeah, you can see the movements of his gloves on the steering wheel inside the car, and the wheel isn't actually moving anywhere.
And there it's loose, isn't it?
Yeah.
At that point, it's loose. So it was interesting because when he got in the gravel, it looked as though he had steering, didn't it? Because both wheels turned together. But of course, that's the effect of the gravel on the wheel. There it goes. So we thought here, because you can see he's now turning the wheel and both wheels are facing together, that's why we couldn't spot in the full speed pictures that the steering was broken, but just took too much curb down. And that corner there, actually, they've changed the curbs on the fast right, haven't they? How did it used to be?
They used to have like almost like another section of curbs on the inside of the corner, so you could really cut and throw the car over the top of it. But now, where they've only got the one layer of curb, there's now a big hole on the inside. So if you run the car too deep, you just smash the wheel into the inside of the curb.
Now we see the same, don't we? Have seen the same at Loac, who I think changed their curbs too. So kind of, you know, you give the drivers the opportunity to drop a wheel over the back, and they will. They will do so if they can do without risk. But as we've seen in turn 1 and turn 2, if they slide across the back of the curb, it can be an absolute disaster. Coats are coming off. The weather is improving. Nice to see the old flags going. The breeze is up, temperature's up. What are we on? 13.3 air temperature, tracks up to 15.6, so it's not exactly hot. Have a listen to the tune in the background. They're playing the Holliers Rallycross song. Can you hear that at home? Hang on. No, I think you can just hear anti-lag, basically. That's fine too, to be honest, as songs go. While the Hey Holliers song is very nice, I do quite enjoy the noise of anti-lag in the morning. Good to see the nationalities of so many different flags in the crowd. Look at that. Sweden, Finland. We've seen the German flags out there as well. We've seen the Toppy fan club here. Even though Toppy is only spotting this weekend, they've come to support him anyway. There's Audran, our tree surgeon in Euro RX yesterday, heading off the road thanks to contact with a yellow car. It wasn't Peter Hedstrom, luckily. It was Daniel Thoren. Similar car, wasn't it? But yeah, it's a Rodolf Audran yesterday with an off-track excursion. Ola Christian Temte I saw this morning saying that he's got an electrical fault and the car keeps cutting out. They cannot find it, and that's a nightmare. Hedstrom and Julio. So Hedstrom with an absolutely brilliant start. He's currently in 6th place, and that's decent because he had a DNF yesterday down in Q3. So Hedstrom, to hold on to 6th, as long as he has a half-decent run here, he's going to make the semis. But he would like to run and put himself again top 4.
Yeah, but I think we're going to see him struggle here. I wouldn't be surprised races of this session that the guys will be back onto the slick tyre. So he had that DNF yesterday that's put him down in the slippier conditions.
Temte under a bit of pressure from Audran. Bulio went joker on the first lap, so he's got a gap of about 3.2 before he catches up to these guys. In fact, Bulio's going backwards from them, so Bulio losing time. I wonder if it doesn't look to have a problem from the box window. At the minute, Ola Kustrian his car is continuing, but a bit early on the gas there, Dan, and running the car a bit wide. You see the difference there with the world guys who are so patient and so careful, probably because they're looking at data and onboards and engineers, and you need that information. It's easy to go, I'm not driving fast enough, but actually you're at full capacity when you're driving the car, and you sometimes need somebody else to help you find stuff.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I've been on both ends of the job, if you like. So I've been a driver, and then I've also done the whole analysis thing using the data systems. And you can have a driver come in and say, I can't go any faster, and you compare sections of a lap together, and you can figure out what they did on one lap, which is better on the other lap, and then you can say, right, repeat that. That's lap, and then they know how to get like each corner of the track as perfect as they can.
Then there's the psychology side of it, isn't there? So you've told them what is ideal. When the adrenaline's flowing and the heart rate's up and they're like, I've got to win, it doesn't always go that way.
No, and it's so easy to get caught up in trying to do what you're told as well. So you've got to be really careful to not be thinking about it too much whilst you're on the track, and just drive your own race, drive the car as well, but have it just in the back of your mind.
We're hearing then that lap times now are down below what they were for the World Championship front runners, and that down is undoubtedly because of these conditions changing.
Yeah, so we're finally starting to see a dry line. You can see here on the landing of the jump into the hairpin, but you can then see they have to keep it really tight because there's still standing water as they cross the finish line on the outside of that corner. So they've got to be really precise now, but we are definitely going to be seeing some guys go for slicks as Hedström goes into the joker, but he's got 11.6 back to Boulier, so he's not going to be bothered.
Yeah, I think he's going to make it. He does. So Hedström has got to set the best time he can in the conditions. I have to say, he hasn't veered too much off the ideal line. Boulier going to get Audran here. Little tap between them. That was very sensible between the guys. Hedström, all he can do is make the least mistakes possible. He's in P6. And, he's got a few more points than some of the guys behind him in qualifying, so as long as he doesn't make any mistakes on the run to the line now, it's a case of damage limitation. Do the best you can do. He's patient with the throttle, and he gets over the line. So Hedström's time is 3:21.1, so he's 3.7 quicker than Bakker at Wembley. You've got to remember Bakker did that in pretty wet conditions this morning, so impressive as always from the world guys, but Hedström is no slouch either. Dan, the times will tumble very quickly once the track gets dry. We're going to see the result of this one, and we'll have a look and see where they are now. Say 3:21. Okay, so Hedström's really the only guy who got it done there. We'd expect that, to be fair. He's one of our regulars. Have a look back at the action, and we'll talk about how the track develops. Hedström just gets whole shot, and here he's gone. But as I say, this is the point where earlier it was going slimy, wet, slimy, bit slower, bit faster. Now it's going to go whoosh.
Yeah, now we have sunshine, which is what we didn't have earlier. So you can see the very, very visible dry line here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see some slicks on the cars for the next race. But I mean, the start line is looking quite wet. I can see from the commentary position here, but the rest of the track, what you'd lose on the start line, you'd gain through a whole lap. So definitely going to have some dry tyres coming on the cars in a minute.
This was Hedström's joker, super tidy, and the joker as well. You can see people are able to take more risks, so they don't want to hit those markers. We've seen the warnings, we've seen a DQ for Timosyanov, but now it's a bit drier. People are attacking it a little bit harder.
Peter, you absolutely smashed that, almost unchallenged right from the start to finish. You must have enjoyed that. Done enough to get through to the semis?
Yeah, it's in the semi now, but we have bad luck. Q3 yesterday, the front disc explosion, and then we started the first heat now, and the track is going to be faster and faster. So, but we do what we can, and we drive what we have to drive with.
Thank you, well done.
Hedstrom seems happy enough with that. Well, as happy as he's going to be. You know, he knows the score, so he was unlucky yesterday. What did he say? Brake disc exploded, did he say?
Yeah, something along those lines. I couldn't quite hear. I did struggle, I must admit. But, yeah, bad luck for him yesterday. And, well, like I said earlier on in his race, he's going to be so gutted because of the drying conditions we have today.
The crowd won't be quite so gutted about it drying. They won't have enjoyed the wet either this morning. But they will be pleased. The sun is out. Barbecues are on, look, bit of smoke in the background. They will all be here until about 3:40 this afternoon, if all goes according to plan. The final will finish about then, and there will be a long stream of cars heading out through the front gate. That's Matt Soman pulling up to complete the grid. So line up then for Q4 race 2. Mario Barbosa on the inside, Matt Soman, Mandy August, Ale Fucik and Stein Egil Jensen. Apparently Matt Soman is on dry tyres, and I wonder if that's why he was the last car to the grid. Maybe a last minute change of tyres, so Omen's going to need a good start. Let's see.
I think he's going to struggle off the line. You can see how damp it still is on the start grid.
Right. Who's going to get it done? Slicks might be the choice out on the track, but are they the choice on that fresh bit of tarmac down there? Dumped it at the start. It's a shame. We know he's used to the hand controls. I'm gutted for him. Mandy August has got the whole shot. Ale Fucik, bit of contact. He's been unlucky with contact. Barbosa was the man involved in that. Fucik sideways. Gun that power. Hold on tight. Get it over that crest. Barbosa's gone into the Joker lap. With him has gone Jensen. So Barbosa versus Jensen on the Joker. Mandy August leading on the standard lap. Now, Mandy yesterday had herself had a warning or a penalty for something which the team were going to appeal, but they didn't appeal it in the end. Timo Scheider tells a story about that this morning, which was very funny, but I'm afraid that's going to be one for the book. About the team going through the appeals process. Mandy has been brilliant, hasn't she, this year? She's really on top of the supercar and getting very quick.
Yeah, she's been fantastic, and well, like from talking with Scheider this morning, he is also helping her along with a lot of tuition and stuff like that. So you know, she's got a very good teacher with her as well.
Well, that's part of Timo's role, really, isn't it, in the team? So, you know, yeah, he does the whole World Championship, and they're having Mandy and Rennie are doing Euros. We might see Rennie, I reckon. I wonder about Canada. I did wonder if they'll send a second car there with Timo. I don't know. But Mandy August, apparently she takes the win here. I think would actually be her first heat race victory, according to our stats man in the TV truck. Whose birthday it is today, by the way. Happy birthday, Andrew Oates, our graphics operator. 21 again. You can have a few Vice beers tonight and then enjoy a lovely trip to the airport in the morning. 3 hours in a car, I'm sure I'll get on fine with that. Another one for the book. Ask me if you see me. There's lots of good stories which I can tell you in person that are not seeable for television. That's the beauty of working in this fantastic sport. We've got a great team of people. I say it's Andros' birthday today. Happy birthday, mate. Barbosa over the crest. August's got a 4.9 lead. Matt Soman's caught up to the back of the pack and goes Joker, so that's the right thing to do, having made that time up. Gutted from Matt, because I wonder what are his lap times like down with those dries on. Is it any quicker? It's pretty similar, isn't it?
Yeah, very similar, but I mean, I'd imagine it would be quicker with the dries. Certainly in the next race, Matt Soman there turning in a bit too early and catching the damp patch. If he was to turn in a little bit later, he'd have a dry line. But yeah, Mandy very, very patient on the throttle. She knows where the grip is and hugging the car on the inside to find it.
I think Mandy August has had some very good results this year. I wonder if she did win a heat race earlier on this year. So we've had so many. Someone put a story at WRX Stats on Twitter, the mystery man. Oh, Mandy cuts the curve quite hard there. Risky, but I think she's going to get away with it. Front left still up, so yeah. And yeah, there have been hundreds and hundreds hundreds of heat races. Wanda now says she runs a bit wide in Velodrome.
Front right, I think maybe. We'll see as she comes down the hill.
No, it looks okay.
Just turn her understeer.
Yeah, a bit of a scare, Dan. You know, you hit a curve like that, then you're always thinking yourself, aren't you, have I got a puncture, have I got a puncture? Holds on to it, Mandy August going to take the win. Great drive. Here we go, what's the time? 3:21.7. Going to go second to Peter Hedstrom and only 6/10 off the back of him. Fantastic drive, Mandy August. Well done. Matt Zomer managed to make up a position past Fucci. In fact, Matt Zomer gets P3. Well done, Matt Zomer. Stalled on the line. I say, brilliant driver who uses an incredible array of hand controls. And it's hard enough to get these cars off the line with the standard car controls. So respect to Oman as always. August takes it. Barbosa, Oman, Fucci slotting ahead of Pulio and Audran Jensen there with his own issues, dropping down to 8th.
So here's Oman stalling on the line, probably got the RPM set quite low because he's running on those slick tyres and just bogged off the line. But it was a fairly clean start for Mandy. She ran a little bit wide, but Messi behind her. So the three drivers behind would have been losing time there. We've seen Mandy run wide there again on the right-hand of Velodrome, but here she is on the Joker lap.
Enjoying the way she's throwing the car around. This was where she took all that curb lurk right up. Absolutely not shy of using the full potential of a 600 brake horsepower supercar. Mandy August takes race 2.
Mandy, great race, great time. The track is drying, but it looks like wet tyres were still the right choice.
Yeah, the track is very slippery, but I give the best. I don't know. I'm happy that I win my heat.
And in German, if you like.
Ja, was soll ich jetzt noch dazu sagen? Ja, es war sehr schwierig nach der Misere von gestern. Ich habe gezeigt, dass ich es doch kann irgendwie, ja.
Vielen Dank.
Danke.
Are they standing on top of something at the back there, or is that just the bank? I'm not sure. They used to put sofas and stuff on top of buses, but then somebody said they weren't allowed to do that anymore. So there's a great sign up at the party bus, which is the one with the huge inflatable yellow smiley head. See my Instagram story from last night. And they have a sign up saying no sofas allowed on top of the buses, which was a rule that they were all cross about a couple of years ago. They've got a sign saying yes, partying allowed next to the buses. So great sense of humour from the fans here. They all claim the same spot each year. You see the same buses parked in the same places. This is a must-visit event. I really strongly believe that. So if you get the chance, come and have a look. Here we go then. See the lineup for Q4 race 3. Andrea de Borg, Stena Andre Johansson, Daniel Doran, Attila Moser and JB de Borg. 5th and 8th for the de Borg brothers. Andrea on the inside. I think it was Andrea that came back this morning on the flatbed, so the car had a problem this morning. Remember, these guys haven't been out for a race on Sunday yet. Good start, JB on the outside and Andrea on the inside. JB going to try and shut the door across the whole pack. His brother's there, but he backs out of it. So JB de Borg gets the lead. Andrea de Borg surely going to go Joker from there. He does, but it's a last-minute decision. And unfortunately, he doesn't get into the Joker first. So JB de Borg leads from Daniel Doran on the standard lap. Johansson has gone into the Joker, and Andrea de Borg gets to the exit, into the wall. Contact then with Moser. So Moser had contact with Johansson twice on the exit there. Andrea de Borg being really brave to get that position. I have to say he needed to.
Yeah, he had to, didn't he? But JB was actually a little bit compromised on the way into turn 2 for the standard lap. Contact from behind when Johansson was keeping the throttle in to try and go onto the Joker lap. Caught the back of JB. That's why we saw him run really wide on that lap 1. But it's now going to be the battle of the brothers. Who can set the fastest lap times through this race?
Now, fastest lap time so far, you said, was Matt Zoman, I think, in the previous run.
Yeah, Matt Zoman with a 48.0 on the slick tyre. I'm not sure what these guys are running. I'm not sure if we had any info come through, but yeah, Matt Zoman was the fastest on a lap last time out. So the slick tyre has definitely got pace.
We've got a couple of questions coming in on social media, so one for Dan first of all. These are via the official FIA World Rallycross Championship channels. Dan, what are your racing plans going forward from one of the fans at home?
I mean, I would like to be getting back in a car, but ultimately, budget is always an issue to get in the seat of one of these. So if I was to be able to find a bit of budget, I'd like to be back, but it just depends, really. It's a very hard question that I wish I could answer.
I'd love to see Dan. Dan is doing a fantastic job on commentary this year. He's been absolutely brilliant. He's with us for every round. Because we're covering RX2 and everything this year, he's got so much insight into that, and we'd love to see him back in a car, but I'm enjoying his company and commentary as well. I hope you guys are at home. Now, I've had another question coming, Dan, saying who is the faster of us? Now, I can answer that for you very easily. Dan is way faster than me in real life. But Dan, when it comes to Dirt Rally 2.0, who's the faster?
Well, who's had the most seat time?
Well, I don't know. Come on now. I believe it was a 10th, wasn't it? I beat you by here in Hollius.
It was a 10th, yes.
Yeah, he was a bit gutted about that. And then last night we were playing with the 95 Super Impreza on the Teawanga 4.77 km stage in New Zealand, weren't we? He's only had one run on that, and I must have been had 3 runs on it the night before, as we see Doran coming under a bit of pressure. So yeah, Dirt Rally 2.0, you can play most of the tracks now, including Hollius here on that one, official game of the World Rallycross Championship. We had great fun with it last night before in our lodge, early night last night. This is the busiest weekend we've ever had in terms of entries. So JB de Borg leading from Andrea de Borg, 4.4 back. Andrea losing a fair bit of time in that first one. We've got lots of questions about electric rallycross coming in as well. Stay tuned, guys. So I know you've got some of the information about the future of the sport with that. I know there's a lot of fear out there about what electric might mean. I think there's some great plans coming forward. I love the sport in this current format, and you're going to be all right, don't you worry. Rallycross is going to remain a fantastic spectacle, and there'll be more news on electric during the course of the season. Just exactly what's going to happen, where it's going to go, and of course it all depends on interest from the manufacturers and the drivers and what it costs and so on. But don't worry, your sport is in safe hands, I promise you that. JB de Borg, Andrea de Borg, 4 seconds back, Johansson, Thoren and Moser. And there you go, the two de Borg straight to the top of the table, and that gives you a good idea of time. I have to say, Hedström, brilliant job. In the conditions he did that run, and there are 10 cars still to come, but Hedström has done well there with the time he set. Where was he? He was in 6th, wasn't he? So I think he'll probably hold on to a spot in the semis. JB de Borg got a bit of wheel spin, didn't he? But a brave move across, and Andrea did the right thing there. Well, the right thing, but if it hadn't been his brother, he possibly wouldn't have backed out of that.
No, but he decided to back out of that one to give his brother the space, and we saw JB getting tagged by Johansson, then Johansson getting tagged by Andrea, and then Moser on the run down to turn 3 and 4.
Johansson's going to be feeling pretty beaten up by the time he got to the velodrome, was he? I think he'd been hit by everyone except Thoren at that point.
Yes, I know. We just see him there. They're running really wide down the bottom of the hill, so track's still a little bit slippy. This is JB in the Joker lap. And we see very close to the markers, but he was clear through.
And Andrea de Borg at that point had caught up with Daniel Thoren when he went to the Joker, so he lost a little bit of time behind there as well. So Andrea doing well to salvage P2 in this session so far, but it's his brother JB who wins this one.
Jean-Baptiste, a great result. It means you'll be in the semi-final, but it's really drying out there, isn't it?
Yeah, the track is really not easy. We decided to put the 6 tires at the last seconds, and it was a good choice. The setup of the car was just perfect. My start also, I really take a lot of pleasure on this condition, because on the totally dry condition, we struggle a bit with the setup of the car, so we'll see in the semi.
Well done, merci.
Sunshine and blue skies. I think going to be in for some fantastic hard racing this afternoon. Dan, one of the things that I'm pretty fascinated by is I don't think we've seen, or we haven't seen, the true pace of anyone yet across all the cars, just because of the way the weather's played out.
Yeah, the weather and crazy Q1 as well. There is still so much more to be seen.
Here we go then. Iko Ikonen, Tamas Karai, Sondra Evshen, Hans-Joran Ostring and Paulus Plaskovas. Look at the positions. 11th, 12th and 13th on the right-hand side of the grid. Evshen running with Kristoffersen Motorsport. Just talking to Tommy this morning. Karai's in 9th. Ikonen is in 7th. Ikonen did well last time out in Norway. increasingly getting to grips with that ex-Rainis Nitish car, the current European Championship car. European champion car, sorry. Karai looked like he got a good reaction time there. He did, he was fastest, so Karai gets away, Ikonen drops back. It's Evshin who goes P2. And Evshin now then will go standard lap, will he, with Karai. He's up the inside of Karai, he's got him, I thought so. Oh, a little nudge over the jump. Karai's going to end up in the barrier. Just about holds on. Ikonen leads of the two cars. So Ikonen and Pleskavas went to the Joker, but it is Evshin who leads. So Evshin now needs to get a great run in.
Evshin there, lots of smoke coming off the back. I think that the bumper is folded in underneath and is rubbing on the tyre. There was a big black line left on the velodrome as he came around there. Hopefully he'll be able to hold out for the race. A bit sideways through the right-hander there.
Used the handbrake, I think, on the way in, looking at the way the wheel locked suddenly. So I spoke to Tommy this morning and he said it's great working with a new young driver. He said obviously it's just completely different, with full respect to Sondra and his skills, completely different to working with Johan. Okay, we've seen a mistake from Sondra. We saw a mistake yesterday in the last corner, which cost him 3 seconds, and potentially, Dan, we think P2 or 3 in the session. So, you know, but to have someone like Kristoffersson in your corner for Evshin is incredible.
Yeah, so much experience there, and well, running off the back of a world champion's experience is fantastic for him to be having that behind him. But I'm sure he is like a sponge when working that team. As he drops it at the bottom of the hill, he just ran too wide, and he's managed to light it up and get it going again. But
it's just as we were talking about it, you know, he's got to avoid these mistakes, and that will be frustrating for him.
Yeah, very frustrating. He knows he's down in P11, so has to have a good result, and maybe that pressure's just getting to him.
Mistake now from Ostrang, so Ostrang has a little tap on the barrier. Karai doing a reasonable job on the way in, just misses the marker on the way out, and I'll tell you what, Ikonen's worked out perfectly, hasn't it? Joker right at the start and comes out in front of everyone.
Yeah, Ikonen's laughing here. Drama in front of him on the first lap, so he goes to the Joker lap and then lets it unfold and does his own time. So you know he's in a fast car, and well, he's proven to have pace in this race.
Another lap to go, and everyone except Evshin has joked. Evshin's wild. I'm starting to wonder, Dan, if there's maybe an issue or potentially they've gone the wrong way with the setup. They're really wild.
Yeah, man, a lot of oversteer on the way into the corner, and that switch to understeer. So maybe trying to run a mixture of settings on the car to compromise for what was damp, and he's now going to run wide into the Joker and catch the damp stuff on the outside, but it was fairly tidy through the rest of it, but he drops back behind Pleskavas now. So
Evshin in P5, having made a couple of errors in this one. Ikonen makes, sorry, that's Pleskavas again. Thought we'd come to Ikonen there. Target time 3:15.0. Another question coming on social media. Any driver either of us would like to see step up from Euro to World? Yeah, I'd love to see Larson back in World. It's a budget thing again, I think. Look at what he's done this year with the car, which he likes. You know, he's been fantastic. Ikonen takes it. What about you, Dan?
Yeah, for me, Larson and Brinson as well. Brinson's showing some good pace this year with a new team. So I'd like
Tiedemann, I'd like to see back in a modern car. Like, he's doing brilliantly in the Beetle, but you know how good Tiedemann is as a peddler, and he's got rallycross experience as well from when he was with EKS when they first started. Ikonen with a 3:15.7, not quite quick enough to beat JB, but it is enough to beat Andrea de Bourg. So here's where they go. In fact, 3 cars look, so Hansur and Ostrang and Karai's not in. Pleskova's down in 7th, so Evshin won't be that far off the top. So do you know what, Evshin might still make it. We've only got 1 race left to go. Can Evshin make it through to the semi-finals? So this is the start, look, pretty even across. Evshin actually not getting the best start, with Karai getting down to turn 1 first. Super reaction time from Karai. Up into turn 2, Ostrang is on the inside of Ikonen. Karai, yeah, ran deep, and Evshin got him. That was the little nudge then over, and that's where the bumper got folded in, Dan.
Yeah, but not sure if that caused any more damage or not, because like we say, Evshin was looking quite wild through the whole race. You can see here running wide, and And yeah, really nearly dropping it on the brakes, and then having to get on the brakes again so he didn't get collected, and the Sid dropping it down the hill. So
Liam dropped it there. You know, it's he did well to spin it around that quickly and get back out. It's tricky, isn't it? It's slippery.
Yeah, very hard. Just hanging the tail out and getting into the loose stuff on the outside, and from there he's got no grip.
Eakonen at the merge in front of Ostreng. And the Finnish driver holding on there to take the winner to go P2 in the session. He was P7 before. Will that move him up?
Mikko, a good drive there, puts you safely in the semi-finals here in Höljes. You must be happy with that.
Of course, it's always nice to be in the semi-finals and hopefully we will get as good position there as possible. I don't know about the time, got a little bit of bumps and bruises after a poor start, but anyway, heat win is always a heat win and it's nice.
Just give us a sense of how different the track is now that it's pretty much dry.
It's pretty much it's dry, but there is still slippery conditions, and it was really important to keep the driving line because there was only, let's say, 1.5 times the driving line was dry, and the outside of that it was wet and slippery. So it's a little bit mixed up feeling. So we changed the dampers and set up and thought about the tires a lot before this. But anyway, it's always a little bit tricky when it's going into the drive.
Kiitos, what up?
There's the man, Robin Larsson, the championship leader. Sitting on the inside. He's currently top of the table. He's 16 points clear of Brinterson, so barring any disasters, Larsson on the inside will hope that this is a demonstration run to TQ. Rennie Munich was in P3. I tell you what, he wouldn't mind being pole, so he'd want to move up a slot if he can. But he's 7 points back off Brinterson, so I don't think, no, he can't. He could, but he needs Brinterson to have a bit of a shocker here if he's going to get that done. Walfridsson and Tiedemann. Tiedemann, good start. Munich with the best start of all, though fantastic traction. Larsson going to go P2. Brinson goes backwards. So Munich's out front. Tiedemann is on the inside. Larsson goes Joker, does he's hard on the gas, but Brinson's up the inside of him, and the Joker can't find a way through. Larsson straightens the car out. Oh, Brinterson hooks the rear wheel up over, just misses the armco on the exit. So Larsson and Brinterson have gone Joker, and that's the perfect place for them to hunt these guys down. They're going to hope Walfridsson doesn't get in the way, but Munich is hoping to get in front of Brinterson in the overall standing, so he needs to get a great time here and hope that Brinterson struggles or hits traffic.
Yeah, that was an awesome start by Munich, wasn't it? Just catching the RPM right for the amount of traction he had in his grid slot. I mean, with it drying out, we might be seeing some of the grid slots slightly grippier than the others.
Tiedemann does a look at Munich. Munich goes a bit sideways. Pontus with the nose up the inside, but can't quite find a way through. Munich is on a bit of a mission out front, so he was super fast yesterday, runs it wide on the understeer. Tiedemann gets through, so Tiedemann's done the pass. Munich was too late on the brakes, and Larsson is on the back of them already. Walfridsson goes Joker on lap 2, and Larsson is nearly there. Look in the back of the shot, there he is, he's hunting them down.
Yeah, Larsson's really on it, isn't he? In that first sector, he took, well, 1.1 second out of Munich, but only a 10th out of Pontus, so Pontus maybe have a bit more pace here. We'd be great to see him up to the front end as well. But Larsson, what a push he's on now.
He is indeed. Larsson in Ekstrom's old car. The Ekstrom won the World Championship within 16 with some developments on it as well, and he just seems super at home in it. Incidentally, I asked Liam Doran after Norway about how comfortable Larsson looked in the car and how we felt Liam wasn't always comfortable in the latest version, and he said the cars are too different. Munich's got Joker, going to drop 3 places, I think, is it? And he was saying that, yeah, he can't, Tiedemann obviously still has to Joker. He can't run the same settings as Larsson, the cars are too different. So it was interesting. For me, you'd almost, you know, Liam's driver style quite similar to Larsson, but yeah, they did also say in theory the later car is capable of the better lap times, but Liam's got to drive it that way, and he understands that.
Yeah, so the car would have been developed for Matthias. Matthias has more of a circuit racer style approach, and but that's completely different to Larsson and Liam. That's more of a rally driver's kind of approach, so they can set the car up more for their liking. But the new car, it would seem, isn't quite so capable when it's driven in that style.
Tiedemann's gone Joker now. Larson leading on the inside. Brinton's going to get him as well. I think Tiedemann might get Munich. He's going to be able to shut the door. He does. Larson's so aggressive, and Tiedemann and Brinton, they're all using all the curbs, some of the grass, and well, there was grass there isn't any more. Target time 3:15.0. Round the left-hander at the velodrome, flat out down the hill. Larson looking to stop the time ahead of Dubourg, the current leader. I think he's going to do it easily. Brinton's made a mistake. Tiedemann's going to be closing on him fast. Larson through the left-hander is easily going to smash the timesheets as the track has dried. He's going to take the final session and the TQ. Brinton holds on from Tiedemann. Rennie Munich gets fourth. Walfridsson in fifth. 8 seconds faster. The Larson fans let the flares off. They're happy with that. Their man is TQ. And looking for another win. He's won the first 2 rounds. Can he make it 3 from 3 and win at home in Sweden? Robin Larsson from Brinton, Tiedemann, Munich and Walfridsson. All 5 going into the top look, so you can tell what a difference those track conditions have made. So the start area looking a bit dry. It's still a little bit damp, isn't it, down there? But it's looking a bit better. The rest of the track now down there's very much a dry line on the gravel, but with some wet on the outside. Of the tarmac for me is almost fully dry. Yeah, tarmac almost fully dry, which just makes it so much difference. It means the guys can even afford to hang the tail out a little bit of the cars and not drop it into the wet. But still a little bit damp on the outside of the last corner. But majority of the track is very dry. This was Tiedemann's pass on Munich. It was fair. He had him under a lot of pressure. Munich slides out of the Joker lap, uses all the curb on the left-hand side. It's Larson who flies the jump. He's been flying all weekend. He's won 3 out of the 4 sessions, and he was second in Q2. So Robin Larsson only misses a clean sweep by 1 session. He hasn't had a clean sweep this year yet, but that is another win, and it is another TQ for Robin Larsson at home in Sweden.
Robin, they call it the magic weekend. That was 8 seconds quicker than anyone else in that session. Is that a bit of Swedish magic?
The weather was coming out now and the sun was shining, so we had a bit of luck there, but we beat the guys in our heat, and that was the main goal and the perfect start of the day. Now we can just focus on the semi-final and hope the sun is shining in the semi-final and final for the fans, and I will put on a good show.
Now, it looks like it's almost completely dry, but I guess there's still some slippery places out there.
Yeah, the last corner is really slippery, and it was a little bit here and there, but you can push now, so it's starting to get funny.
Okay, and just a word to your fans in Swedish if you like.
Grym start på dagen, och hoppas verkligen att solen kan vara framme nu under hela dagen, och så vi kan bjuda på lite show. Det är både roligare att köra, och man vet att det sitter på kullen där något bakfulla då, skulle jag tro, men det ska göra allt vi kan för att göra det roligare.
Thank you.
So Robin there saying that he hopes the sun stays out for the rest of the day because he finds it more fun to drive in the dry. No, I haven't learned Swedish overnight. I've got a very kind man in my ear who's in the TV truck. Thanks, Julius. Robin Larsson there with the big banner across. That's his grandstand, a bit like the Baccarat guys have some as well. So all the drivers with their fans, great stuff. Here are the standings at the end of qualifying for European Rallycross Championship for Supercars Round 3 from Sweden. Robin Larsson, the winner of both the previous rounds, takes the TQ from Brinton, Munich, Walfridsson, Ikonen, Dubourg, Tiedemann. Then it's Hedström, Karai, Evgen and Hans-Joran Ostring. So Hedström in 9th place thanks to that win in Q2. We're very pleased with that. And we've got all our championship top 4 have all made it through to the semi-finals. So expect a decent fight later on today. You'll be able to see the final, of course, in the World RX TV show. So find out, can Larsson make it 3 from 3 and win at home in Sweden? So good stuff with Euro RX and RX2. We've had World RX 1 session already. We've got another session coming up for you now. The grids are in. All the various investigations are done. A couple more questions on social media, Dan. So the first one was, what non-RX drivers would you like to see try Rallycross? I'm going first. I'd like to see Jenson Button and Fernando Alonso do it, because I know you're watching, because we know that they're always commenting on Rallycross and saying they want to come. So come on, bin those contracts off. Nobody minds who you drive for here. Just come and get amongst it. We want to see Jenson Dad used to race Rallycross, and Alonso, I know, is a Rallycross fan. I'd love to see Valentino Rossi come and do it. You know, it's partly because I'd like to see some bike fans get into this fantastic sport. I think it would appeal to them. But yourself, and any drivers I haven't mentioned, or any rally drivers maybe?
I was also going to say Button and Alonso, to be honest.
Yeah.
Maybe Verstappen would be great.
Oh, he'd mix it up a bit, wouldn't he? Verstappen wouldn't mind getting stuck in, would he?
No.
I'd love to see Lewis do it, but you're being realistic about where people are in their careers. I think Lewis and Max are busy.
You could say that.
Yeah. So that's what I'd like to see. Who would you like to see? I mean, let us know at home if you'd like to see. We are waiting on tyre info for World. I think we're going to find that everybody's going to be going on slicks. We've had some questions in about the mix of classic tracks and F1 tracks. Now, we know, there's some resistance to new tracks, but for me, this is a growing sport, and if it's going to go World Championship, it has to go outside Europe. There have to be, we have to touch 3 continents, but FIA rules to be a World Championship. Yeah, I know we're lucky we get to go to these tracks, but Dan, I think they're really good. Okay, some are better than others, but you have to be honest and say that the traditional tracks, some are better than others.
Yeah, definitely. And an example for this year is Spa. An F1 track. It delivered some of the best racing we've seen all year. So they really do give out some of the best action that we've seen through the year.
Yeah, definitely. The guys on the website asked me to write an article on that. You can head back and have a look at that if you like. Some more detailed thoughts on it. The circuits are coming now to these events, and the new circuits, and asking the drivers. They're asking the teams for their input on the tracks, and that is coming out in places like the track designs at Spa. So they're trying really hard to make sure that the new Rallycross tracks live up to the same expectations as the old Rallycross tracks did. So Neil Cole is down on the track at the classic Holliers circuit. He's going to give us a little bit of a report on the track conditions here.
Yeah, it's a bit special. There's not many places you can get to do this. It's a bit like being on centre court at Wimbledon. Not many people get, so I feel very lucky. But here's a look. An hour ago, it was pouring with rain. I was in my coat, and this was soaking wet. It's now absolutely bone dry, and there's a little bit of a layer of gravel on the tarmac. But you can see offline over there, it's still a little bit wet. And if we spin around, just to give you some geography, that's Velodrome over there. So that's the gravel hill. This is the fast, flat-out section. And look, you can see that gravel on the top, the mud is still wet, but that will dry quickly. Then we come back round here, flat out through here, that's still wet. You can see there's that actual puddle over there in the gravel and the mud off the left-hander, and then that is the jump over into the big tarmac left-hander. I'm being waved at to get off the track by a man over there. So there you go. That's how dry it is for the final session of qualifying for World RX.
So which other tracks would we like to, other locations would we like to see a track at? Now, one which we've suggested before, thanks to our new friend in RX2, Fraser McConaughey's Jamaica RX. I think I can handle that. Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
Okay, so we're Jamaica RX, Hawaii RX. We're hearing from the TV truck. They're up for that as well. And yeah, I know you guys at home, a lot of people came to Austin last year. It was a good, fun destination to go to. So I'm starting a new series called Island RX, where basically, Hawaii, New Zealand, maybe that's a big island, isn't it? I'd love to go to Japan. I think this sport would go down a storm in Japan.
Yeah, 100%.
Love their drifting, they love their rallying. Manufacturers like Subaru and Mitsubishi, it would be ace if we could go to Japan. We've got some cars down on the grid, so I think we're just about ready to go racing with World Rallycross. It's the final session of World RX here at Holliers. Timozyanov heading on to his grid slot. I'm just getting my paperwork out, which was delivered during the session. Timozyanov, thanks to his DQ, he's in P24, and I don't think he's going to make it from there. So that's a bit of a shame for Timmer, but I know he's going to send it in this one anyway. Here we go then, Q4, race 1. On the inside, Kjetil Larsen, then it's Timo Scheider, 16th after Q3, then it's Christian Sabo, 18th after Q3, Fabian Payet and Timozyanov. Timmer in 24th is unlikely to make it. but he will do his best. You know, if he could win the session, he might stand a chance. You just never know. It needs a massive point tool, though. But for me, it's more about Scheider and Sabo, who are in 16th and 18th. Got to get a good start. Larsen got a reasonable one. Sabo too. Timozian around the outside. Contact on the wet. Timmer sideways. Saves it. Scheider's going to go into turn one with it. Larsen goes to the Joker lap. So it's three drivers from the World Championship regulars have gone standard lap. Sabo slightly off the back, but with a bit of airtime to try and make up the gap. So that's worked out really well for Timozian and Scheider.
Yeah, really good. These two guys can now follow each other to try and get the best time and not have to worry about the non-regular drivers necessarily getting in the way. They've just got to make sure they play their Joker tactics right and not drop themselves back behind them.
Timmer hooks a wheel over the inside, a little bit of debris off from the underside of the car. Scheider's got a wheel off liner loose on the rear left, but both these cars in fine field. Timmer's gone, Timmer's puncher. Mate, that's from where he's hooked it. Front right is off on Timmer's car. So that must be where he hooked it over the inside. Sabo gets past it. Timozian with terminal understeer just as we thought he'd been okay. The second he leaned on that tyre in that hairpin down and came straight off the rim. He hooked it too hard on the inside. That's the margin. Timozian's out. He's not going to make the semis.
Yeah, such a shame for him to have all of this bad luck this weekend. This is going to be one for him to forget, isn't it? He's just going to completely write it off. You can see the tyre's completely flat. It's not rolled off the rim, but just got no air in it.
Larsen and Pai having a battle of their own. Timmer's he won't be very happy. I know Timmer last night was unhappy with his track limits penalty. He's got a DQ for it. It's now immaterial because he's had a puncture as well, but he won't be happy with this weekend. It's a shame. He did actually say to me he doesn't always have the best weekend at Hollis. I saw him on the pre-grid on Saturday and I was like, you looking forward to it? He goes, well, it's not always a good track for him. Scheider, Linden Hilly used to struggle out as well. So Sabo is on a real flyer. Fastest lap of the day. Edox Swiss Watch's fastest lap of the day. But, Sabo in the wall! Fastest lap to nowhere! In the wall, tags the Armco, spins it round. He just set the quickest lap. He choked to find clean air and he's binned it on the exit.
Just maybe a little bit overly keen on the throttle there, trying to light it up and get the maximum go out of the Joker lap, but it just drifted him wide and clipped the barrier and he was goner.
Timmer's pulled off as well, so Sabo's still going round, but Scheider is the man who stands to benefit from this, and he needs to. After the last one didn't go his way, Scheider spinning, didn't he, in turn one, just when we were saying about his results. Timo Scheider's got a job to do here. He's in the first race. Conditions might get quicker, but we're not sure how much. Fastest lap of the day, Timo Scheider, 45.2. Will he avoid the Armco? He does. He keeps the car straight. You can hear the revs so high as he tries to find grip on the loose.
Yeah, the loose is just that still a little bit too damp, isn't it? Just for them to be able to really nail it. So I'm sure the times are still going to be rolling down later on through the session.
Larsen and Fabian Pai have had a great fight in this race, haven't they? Different lines in and out of Velodrome. But Timo Scheider on a mission to try to make it through. He's in P16 at the moment. He's only 5 or 6 points off a shot at the semi-finals, and he drops it on the brakes at the hairpin, but beautiful job to get it back under control. It's a great exit. Scheider did well to hold on. Paye up the inside of Larsen. Contact. Larsen gets it by 1/2 of a tenth. Timo Scheider, last corner, did a lovely job, didn't he? A little nip on the handbrake and straighten the car out. Sabo coming round, so Sabo's obviously got a problem with the car. Sabo is not going to make it.
Back left suspension bent, I think.
Broken it against the Armco. We saw the incident. We'll see it again in a minute when we take a look back at the action from this one. With Sabo, who looked to be there taking the win and hoping for a spot in the semi-finals, unfortunately is off the back. So Christian Sabo was 18th and won't make it. Timozianov was in 24th and won't make it. Timo Scheider was 16th. Is a 309.3 going to be enough to get him back up into the semi-finals? Okay, here we go then, from the rear. Start grid is still mixed in terms of grip, isn't it? Timmer gets away nicely. Sabo with a little bit of a nudge there.
Yeah, just going into the gravel there, isn't he? And then having to really anchor up to get around turn two. There's the incident for the puncher for Timozianov, and you can see now as he's come into the right-hander, there's just nothing there.
You saw, did he, a tiny piece of debris fly off underneath the car. We don't know if that was a part of the tyre that he'd ripped off or if it was a part of the curb. I say it seemed to be okay. We thought he got away with it. Literally the very next corner, as soon as he leaned, was gone. Here's Sabo, watch this. Bang! Literally half a foot, maybe like 6 inches, and into the barrier and gone. So broken suspension. Timo Scheider, a tiny bit wide on the way in, but actually nicely done, and a big save on the last corner with a nip on the handbrake for a great exit. So he's hoping that'll be enough for the semis.
Timo, you've got to be happy with that. You did what you had to do, but it looks dry. But tell us, it's not quite as dry as it looks.
Exactly. It looks quite okay outside, but the dry line is covered with a lot of dust, so this is quite slippery, so you have to pay a lot of attention just to not go a bit too wide, because then you're just sliding somewhere. But yeah, this is the result we needed after my mistake in Q3. Right now we're just hoping that is enough for the semis.
Hope so too. See you there.
Thank you.
Doran's on the line. Liam had his own issues, didn't he? He was P20. He's 10 points off a spot in the semis in terms of qualifying points, so he needs to do a backward here. He's got to get right up there, backward 1 Q1 and Q3, so we know the car's got the pace, track conditions are changing. We know Liam is a very talented driver. They all are. This is the World Championship. We need Liam to send it, but hold it too, Dan.
Yeah, it would be great to see him send it. He's certainly got good car control, hasn't he, Liam?
A few little mistakes here and there this weekend, but let's see what he can do this time. Q4, race 2, all lined up. Here we go. Liam Doran on the inside, Gulan Shisharit, Jonathan Paye, Ollie Bennett and Cyril Raymond. Cyril is 15th after Q3. Gulan is the only driver who's in. Look, he's in 11th place with 4 new tyres, and Liam Doran is 20th, but they've gone for 4 new boots, so they must believe that they can get that car in. Got to be a good result for Liam if he wants to make it. Shisharit just needs consistency here to hold on, although P11, of course, is one of the spots that's going to get sniped at from behind. So a great result will be better. Good start, Doran on the inside, Shisharit alongside him. Liam's going to push out, try and get a bit of space for turn 1. Cyril Raymond trying to come around the outside, contact with Liam Doran. Doran wants to take the standard lap, but he's going to have to go Joker because Cyril Raymond was in there. So Liam Doran goes Joker, and that's going to mean that he's going to be catching it. Oh, Raymond's dropped it. Cyril Raymond drops it and rolls. Cyril Raymond has rolled the car. Misses the marshal post. He's upside down to be fine. That's a very soft roll on the outside of the track. Liam Doran then with Bennett leading now. Doran is going to come around, and it will be the 2 Brits. It's Bennett that he's going to catch up with first. And Bennett's quick enough, but Liam's going to be hoping that he's going to get out of the way. Yeah, I feel Bennett there hooking the curb on the inside, but I'm sure we'll probably see Bennett go into the Joker lap now to give Liam the clear space. But they worked together, didn't they, on the Mini? Liam was involved in the Mini, so I think it's fair to say these guys are associated. He runs wide, Bennett runs wide in turn 1. Cyril Raymond is out of the car. It's gone standard lap from the commentary position, so Liam Doran is going to be closing him down now. Dan, he's going to, whether they're mates or not is irrelevant, he wants him out of the way. Yeah, he's going to need him out of the way, isn't he? Because he's closing him in so fast, 1.6 seconds back. And that gap is closing down every second. He took 4 tenths out of him in the first sector this lap. On board with Liam Doran down the hill now. This is where he had his spin yesterday. If you saw the Q1 and 2 highlights, holds on to the car smoothly into the curb on the inside. Tell you what, shout out for Gulan Shisharit. What a massive step forward this guy has made this year. Yeah, he is all over. Liam's made a mistake. Sorry, Dan. Liam's made a mistake. He goes sideways. Shisharit on the inside. Liam's going to be on the dirty line. Gulan Shisharit trying to come around him in turn 1. Bit of contact again. Liam just held on. Shisharit, fastest lap of the week after the day. Edog's fastest lap of the day for Gulan Shisharit. Yeah, Shisharit's got so much pace, hasn't he? He just got a bit unlucky off to the start. I'm pretty sure we would be seeing more pace from Shisharit now as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Liam is holding him up a little bit. So Liam made the same mistake there that we saw Timmy Hansen make yesterday. So just a little bit of over-rotation. Was it Larson that was saying that this hairpin's still really slippery? Yeah, I think so. So you can see when they come up here, you can see in shot how much dusty, dirty stuff is on the outside. There's the big jump on board with Liam. Going to keep it tidy in here this time. Dan, if you're Liam's spotted, you'd be telling him, won't you, stay calm, stay calm. Yeah, just drive the car as smooth as possible, no mistakes, but he didn't really close in much on Bennett on that lap, so... And Bennett goes Joker, he has to, it's the last lap, so Ollie Bennett did a great job. He was being caught quickly at first, but found his pace. Remember, poor Ollie's had very little time in the car this weekend, thanks to an issue yesterday. Liam Doran chasing the 309.3 of Timo Scheider. Scheider had a pretty mistake-free run for me. could see just outside Liam's rear wing, through the rear window, how close Shisha is, 0.4. So Shisha is right up underneath him. If he makes another mistake at the line, Shisha is late on the brakes. He settles the car beautifully. He's definitely quicker than Liam. Liam going to aim for the line. He takes it. But it's not enough. 3:10.5 for Liam Doran. 1.2 down goes P2. How much of that was in that hairpin, Dan? How much would he have lost there?
I mean, it would have been a good second, because it wouldn't have only been the mistake, it would have been the run down to turn 1 as well.
Doran with a 3:10.5, Shisha is second, Paye third, Bennett fourth, and Cyril Raymond with a roll which was unusual for Cyril. We didn't see it. We'll have a look at it in just a second. So Scheider leads from Liam Doran. They are both, or were both, outside the top 12. They're both hoping to get in. Shisha was 11th, and that's a great job by him. So I think he's going to hold on to a spot in the semis with that. But we have got 3 races to come. Another 15 drivers on a drying track. Right, see if we can see what happens to Cyril Raymond in particular. So we see Liam get a good start on the inside, makes a bit of space, which is the right thing to do. Cyril comes around the outside, and then I think Liam wanted to go standard, but ends up having to go joker. Look for Cyril here.
Yeah, so Cyril here coming over the jump, and something looks like something broke on the car. You can see out the window of Liam, you can just see him rolling over.
So that's a mega replay. Whoever found that from Liam Doran's onboard to see Cyril Raymond go over. I wonder if he broke the steering in the contact with Liam in turn 1 before then landing from the jump and finishing it off.
Yeah, probably was. Maybe contact with Liam weakened it, and then heavy impact from the jump landing, broke the steering, and off he went.
Gulland Shisha really impressing me this season. He would have been disappointed. I know he said to me when we left Norway he was going for a couple of weeks chill time with his family in a motorhome around Scandinavia. He's very busy with his ski business, building ski lodges, and the stress of running the team. He said he was looking forward to a break. Then they got that DQ. So disappointed. That's a brilliant run by Shisha, but it is Liam Doran who's taken it and currently is in P2 in the session.
Liam, that was quite a battle there with Gerland. Talk us through it from your perspective.
Yeah, it was quite a battle. It was quite a battle, to be fair. I wasn't going fast enough. Made too many mistakes yesterday to get back to the semis today, so I needed the top 3 time there to get into the semis, which without fighting and the lack of speed there won't be enough. So it's nice. Always nice to get a heat win, but yeah, messing around too much and too much battling and essentially not enough pace. So move on to the next one. Had good speed this morning in the wet. The pace is always there. Had some bad luck and made some stupid mistakes, so only myself to blame at the moment.
Thanks, Liam.
I really admire Liam Doran for his honesty with regard to assessing his own driving. He said the battles didn't help, but he made it very, very clear who he lays the blame with. And I don't think you'll find a more honest driver in interviews than Liam.
No, he is very honest, isn't he? And there's not many drivers that will admit to a mistake. Normally, they say race drivers. Race drivers say they have a book of excuses, don't they? So
and I feel Liam doesn't use that book of excuses. You can see the disappointment written on his face because he knows the car's good, particularly with Backwood sitting in TQ at the minute. We're gonna have a little look back at Liam's little mistake in the hairpin, I think. So, what do you do?
I mean, he's going to be so gutted, isn't he? He's just going to have to go and analyse data and try and find a setup as well, because their driving style is so different.
Take a reset. We're actually going to have a look at Cyril Raymond's roll, so rather than Liam. So this is Cyril over the jump. Have a look down when he lands.
So he's come off the jump sideways and had a bit of corrective steering on, and then maybe as he landed, it's like the car snatched out from him and maybe a little bit too much steering input.
He's unlucky with the roll there, isn't he? I mean, the marshals are moving, not too quickly, but they are moving out of the way. I'm not sure what happened there, really. I mean, when you land like that and it's a little bit squirrely, as a general rule, you don't keep it pinned with the opposite lock on because you know the car's going to spring back the other way. What's happened?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it looks like he's got too much opposite locks. He comes over the crest, he's landed, and the front wheels have got a grip and snatched him sideways. I mean, maybe he had a problem with the steering as well. We're not too sure. I'm sure we can go and find out sooner or later, but yeah, gutted for him.
Yeah, not ideal. So not a great weekend for Cyril. Better weekend for his teammate, Gulland Shisha. Liam Liam Doran disappointed, but all to play for. Track's drying again, and as I say, we've got a mad set of results this weekend, so going to be exciting to see who makes it. Stay with us. We've got 3 races to go in World Rallycross to find out who the all-important top 12 are. The usual suspects are in, but we've got some who are going through, I think, who are not involved in the championship, and they just want one thing here. They want the big trophy at Hollius, so it's going to mix things up a bit. Q4 race 3 for World RX from Hollius. Philip German, Yanis Balmanis, Ulrich Linnemann, Jiri Kaliakowski and Kevin Abring. So Abring in 10th, look. German in 23rd, I think he's going to make it. Balmanis is 12th. Linnemann 13th and Jiri Kaliakowski 14th. So Linnemann and Kaliakowski making their World RX debuts. Both of them, of course, drivers who've done a lot of rallycross in the past. Kaliakowski's done Euro, he's doing Nordic, I think. This is the debut for the Honda in the World Championship. Abring's been doing a brilliant job. Squats the rear of the Skoda on the outside. Abring's got a fantastic start. Balmanis maybe just inside him, but he moves across, shuts the door on him. Yanis is going to be P2. Abring's going to get the whole shot on the standard lap. Linnemann's gone with him. Kaliakowski's gone into the joke lap, but behind German, so Abring leads this one. Yeah, Kevin Abring with a fantastic start there. Of course, the development driver for ES as well. He knows the car very well and just hooked it up on the grip, and he just drove away. He sent me a message last night on Instagram saying, what a track. Like, he did actually send me one as well saying, look, Q1 was a bit carnage, I don't really like the starts, you know, but I guess that's just the sport. And I replied, well, it's not actually, it's just an unusual weekend. And he recovered brilliantly in Q2 to be right up in P3, gone back down a bit now, I say, to, where is he, P10, but I'm really hoping Kevin makes it through to the semi-finals. Yeah, it'd be great to see him in the semis and even the final as well. We saw a fantastic performance from him in Hell, so he's got so much to offer. Linnemann over the jump and up into P2 as Balmanis takes the joker. That's going to cover off German behind. Another question on social media, Dan, was Kaliakowski and Linnemann. You know, can any of our new drivers make it through to the semis? So just looking at the scores, we've got Balmanis is on the cusp of the semi-final with 94 qualifying points, and Linnemann and Kaliakowski are level with 93. So if they get a good result, then yeah, they can. But we got Kaliakowski is dropped off the back of the minute. Balmanis is within touching distance of Linnemann. Linnemann's made a mistake outside the commentary box. Ran a bit wide. You're seeing him now in the back of his shot. Kevin Abring's leading. I think Abring here has had a bit of a result, because if Linnemann doesn't go joker now, and he doesn't, Balmanis is being held up. So this has played into Abring's hands, definitely. The thing is, you say Kaliakowski too far off. If Linnemann got a half-decent result here, he could just scrape it, couldn't he? Yeah. He's ahead of Balmanis now, but of course he's got a joker, so he's going to end up behind there. But there's other people that might lose out. Yeah, it's just whether he can leapfrog other people that are in front of him. Kevin Abring's up here in 10th, so he's probably not going to be leapfrogging him. But most of the drivers that are ahead of him are in the races to follow, aren't they? Just depends if they have a shocker. Good to see the Honda taking part in World RX. Always love seeing a new chassis on the grid. Abring then going to go joker here. World Rally star turned World RX star, and he really was a star. Fastest lap of the day. Kevin Abring, 44.688, so he's absolutely nailing it now. Contact between Linnemann and German. Kaliakowski's right there too. Linnemann just holds on. Linnemann just hit the track marker there on the inside of the corner, so not sure if he's had any warnings, but potentially a penalty, and we've got a penalty for Gerland Schiescherich from the race before for track markers. So plus 5 seconds for Schiescherich, that's not what he wanted. Schiescherich was in P11, that could help Linnemann out. So is Linnemann going to be able to take the place from Schiescherich in the semi-finals? Abring takes it. And it's a 3:05, so Abring's gone 5 seconds faster than Liam Doran went. This track is getting really quick now. That's going to turn the standings on their head again. Kevin Abring takes it from Yanis Balmanis, Ulrich Linnemann, Philip German, Jiri Kaliakowski. Linnemann was a 3:10. Does he go in front of Schiescherich? He does. Several places in front. Linnemann might be in and Schiescherich might be out, thanks to that 5-second penalty for Schiescherich on track markers. Kaliakowski went backwards off the start there. teammate, of course, to Baumanis. Maybe different settings down, but it could just be the different slots on the grid.
Yeah, we can see the variable grip levels there as each start they seem... We'll watch them, see if there's a pattern to see if anybody is getting a better line. Baumanis maybe touched the marker there in the Joker lap, I think, on the second corner.
And we don't have a record here, I'm afraid, of who's had warnings already. So they pop up on the screen and then they disappear. So if someone is adjudged to have had a warning, then a penalty, then a DQ, as we've seen with Timmer.
Linneman hit it in the Joker as well.
Did you say Linneman hit the right-hander here? Yeah, he does. So Linneman's hit too. So Linneman is probably going to get a penalty as well, and that might put Sheestrit back in. Stay with us. Who knows?
Kevin Abbring, I've got 5 words for you. Fastest lap of the day.
Yeah, so far, obviously the conditions are getting a bit better maybe. On the other hand, we needed to win the heat because we need to stay in the top 10 after a wet Q3, and the car really seems to struggle in the wet. Obviously I have things to learn, but if you don't have any traction, there's no way you can adjust it with the driving style. So I'm really happy that it dried up for everyone. And yeah, a good start is all you need, and I had it, and then I maintained it without any now nice slides, which I did yesterday. I'm learning every time, and this is what we had to do, and let's see if it's enough.
Should be enough to see you in the semi.
Thank you.
Both the Ericssons in this one as well. Kevin Abbring will be pleased, I say, to have got that slot in the semis if he can. I have to say, there's still a fair bit of cloud about down. I thought it was going to go full blue skies the rest of the day, and it hasn't. I don't think we're going to get a hell situation. That was unbelievable.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, although I didn't check the forecast in hell, and I haven't checked it here either, but you never know. There seems to be some pretty bizarre weather going on here, but yeah, I don't think it's likely.
Baciuska, the last man onto the grid, and we've got marshals out on the track sweeping at the moment. Have a look at the last corner. They're out sweeping dirt off the line because that's going to affect the lap times. There's a lot of dirt there, look, so I wonder, are they going to be pulled off yeah, they are. So track markers 5 times for number 72, which is Ulrich Linneman, disqualified. To be fair, 5 times in one race down is not even borderline, is it?
No, that's just pushing it. So yeah, unfortunate for him, no semis.
So Linneman is not going to make it. That helps Sheestrit out with his 5-second penalty, but bear in mind that Sheestrit was P11, so there are other people looking to get past him. Kaliakowski, Scheider. Let's see what happens. Coming towards the closing stages of qualifying at Hollius. Q4, race 4. Guillaume de Ridder, 22nd after Q3. Had a good run in Q3 to get into this race. He definitely won't make it through to the semis from there, but what can he do against the likes of Anton Markland, Sebastian Eriksson, Kevin Eriksson and Rokas Baciuska? Look at that, 4th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Baciuska has gone for new tyres. Sebastian Eriksson's got a couple on there. So Sebastian Eriksson is middle of the grid, Kevin Eriksson on his outside. Teammates 1 point apart in terms of the qualifying.
Jump start, yeah. Kevin Eriksson, I think. Yeah.
You think it was?
Yeah, Eriksson.
So Kevin Eriksson with the jump, and then when the lights have come on, the other 2 have gone, haven't they? So de Ridder and Markland, that's a disaster for Kevin. Kevin was 8th. Here it is. Him and Sebastian were both creeping, weren't they? I don't think Markland would have seen that from there looking at the lights. I think he's reacted to the jump start lights flashing. Resetting the grid then after a jump start for Kevin Eriksson. Pulls up to the line to get himself ready for the off. Here comes the 2 times Joker lap board for him. He'll know. In P8, in theory, he should be okay, but he's still going to need to get a good run in here, and that's not what Kevin needed. Obviously can't have another jump start either. Restart time for Q4, race 4. Kevin Eriksson, 4th from your left with a jump start. Has to get it right this time. He does get it right, but it's Sebastian Eriksson, the middle of the grid, who's got the best start. Slots in front of Markland. Contact there between de Ridder and Kevin Eriksson in the background. Sebastian Eriksson going to go standard lap. Kevin Eriksson Eriksson goes Joker. Markland's gone in front of him though. Baciuska in front of Guillaume de Ridder on the standard lap.
Sebastian Eriksson there had an absolutely amazing start. He was just pulled a car width already, and unfortunately for Kevin having to do 2 Joker laps, he could be on terms with his teammate in this race.
You'll know that Markland is quick, because we've seen how quick Shisha is, so hopefully Kevin Eriksson won't be held up too much, and of course if he is, he can Joker again with his penalty Joker, but Sebastian Eriksson wheeled right out into the dirt on the outside. He would love to avenge that result that he had here when he was leading the World Championship on his debut. No one has ever won a World Championship round on their debut. We had Kevin Abring very nearly did it last weekend in Hell, the last race meeting. On board with Markland, Kevin Eriksson is behind him. Will Kevin go second Joker here to get a bit of space? He does. Kevin Eriksson takes his second Joker, so Eriksson then getting them both out the way at the start of the run.
Yeah, very smart move there, especially because nobody else did a Joker lap on lap 2, so he's not got a risk of being behind anyone else other than Markland, who he was already behind, so he can really close the gap now.
His decision or the spotter, you think?
I would have said a spotter, because he's not going to know who's joking in front of him because he's that little bit further back.
That's why you need a good spotter, because they're making these decisions very quickly. Sebastian Eriksson sideways through that dirt patch. It's going to be costing them a few tenths here and there. Still leads. What are the lap times like, Dan?
44.3 for Sebastian Eriksson's the EDOC's fastest lap of the day so far. So great job by the OMSE team.
Fantastic development on that car. 21 points on the car. Andreas Eriksson said that he wanted to fix it. He says he's fixed 19 of them. What's it going to be like when he does the other 2? It's the engine and the dampers, if you're wondering. Guillaume de Ridder showing good pace here. Another shocking weekend for him. Guillaume's such a lovely bloke. He really is. He works for Renault's Formula 1 team, doesn't he?
Yeah.
On board with Markland down the hill. Listen to that. You hear the revs come up as the wheels go light over the crest into the right. Wait for the jump. Lands it. We saw Shisha's car was brilliant over the jump.
Yeah, this the McGann flies really well as he's run wide on the exit, the hairpin. I think he maybe caught the dirt that's been swept out into the track and made him have Terminal 1 to steer.
Sebastian Eriksson misses the barriers on both sides. That is a perfect Joker lap for me from Sebastian Eriksson. Baciuska coming in front of Markland. So Baciuska's in P2 at the moment on board with Markland looking forward. Baciuska, of course, in the third McGann, but running with the Academy team. Markland through the left. What can Sebastian Eriksson do with the times, though? The target time is Kevin Abring, 3:05.067. You're on board with Markland. We're looking for the finish. Here it is. Sebastian Eriksson going to come round. He's deep on the brakes. He's going to get the car straight early through the dirt. Aims for the line on the outside. It's enough. 3:03.541. Sebastian Eriksson goes fastest so far in Q4. He was in P7, and that could rocket him up the order. Kevin Eriksson finishes in the background, having done those 2 Jokers. Eriksson 3:14.3. 10th place, we think, so far, with 5 cars still to come. We're looking at the screen because we're getting plenty of warnings about track markers and so on. Sebastian Eriksson takes it from Rokas Baciuska, Guillaume de Ridder, Anton Mark and Kevin Eriksson. Eriksson goes fastest, Abring second, Baciuska third. So Sebastian Eriksson's done a great job there. Rokas Baciuska as well. We're looking to move up from P9. Markland's been given a 5-second penalty.
For a second track marker.
So Markland dropping down the order, and there we go.
Sebastian, that looked like it was almost the perfect race for you. How did it feel?
It was good. Finally, I got a good launch, and that's the key, I think, now. And also the track is getting a little bit better, I think, for every session. But I had a clean run. I'm a little bit afraid of the dirt that is in the last turn. That will cost too much time, but I try to push as hard as I can, and we'll see what the time is.
Well done, thank you.
Baciuska tardy off the start, really slow, whereas Sebastian Eriksson, you're on board with Mark, and you can see the start that Sebastian Eriksson got, just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, really good, just getting the RPM right, and then Markland going for the Joker lap, opting to not follow Sebastian, which for me was maybe not the right option because Sebastian had amazing pace.
And then Markland anyway clattered one of these markers, and a second offence and given a 5-second penalty, so really not what he wanted. He was up in P4, so he would have hoped, wouldn't he, for a front row starting slot. Sebastian Eriksson risked it all on those track markers in the Joker, Dan. Very impressive car control and commitment.
Yeah, that was a massive risk, but it really, really paid off. He had such a straight line out the Joker lap.
So Sebastian Eriksson leads with just one race to go in Q4 to decide the all-important top 12.
So just seeing on the timing screens, Timo Scheider has been disqualified for track markers.
The Baccarat fans know they're supporting. Scheider's been DQ'd from the session. Right, I think it's too much. There you go. I'm saying it. I'm entitled to an opinion. I think DQ for track marks is too much. There you go. We had a couple in this one. You know, penalty's fine, but you know, you're removing people from a World Championship race for tapping a marker when they're trying to drive on the limit. I think it's too much. But there you go. Final race of qualifying from Hollius. Andreas Baccarat in the TQ spot, chased by Timmy Hansen and Kevin Hansen, his championship rivals. Niklas Gronholm in 5th and Reinis Nittisch in 6th. New boots for Nittisch, 2 new boots for Gronholm. We know how fast those Hyundais are. There's Marcus Gronholm watching his son Niklas. Marcus raced a buggy here on Friday. He was in fine form. Never up in the spotters tower, always watching somewhere secretly. We found him. Ready to race. What's Gronholm going to do? Can Nittisch do anything from the outside? Or will it be the usual suspects? Great start across the grid. Gronholm's gone backwards. Nittisch with a fantastic start. Timmy shuts the door on Baccarat. Contact with Gronholm. Baccarat's up on the curbs on the inside. Drops to P5. Kevin Hansen goes around the outside. Reinis Nittisch leads. Timmy Hansen goes with him. Gronholm's gone Joker over the jump. Comes Baccarat. He's now got a bit clearer in front. Baccarat lost out at the start, but he's got some space down. He's got to try and catch up to that front pack.
Yeah, Baccarat's really got to push hard now to try and catch up. He wants that TQ spot from the Hansen brothers, and at the minute he's got Timmy in front of him and Kevin behind him, and Kevin's already jokered and he's already within the reaching distance of Baccarat, so he needs a big old push.
Nittisch with a few steering inputs into the fast right-hander, runs out wide onto the dirt. Is that going to compromise on the brakes? It doesn't. So Reinis Nittisch, the European Rallycross champion, who rolled in Q1 but won Q2. Timmy Hansen really late on the throttle on the exit. Is that dirt in that corner, Dan?
Yeah, there's lots of dirt being kicked out in the last corner, and he had so much understeer as he just hit it, so he had to be so patient on the throttle compared to what he wants to be.
So Baccarat can't get away from Kevin Hansen and Gronholm. Looking at the points, I think Baccarat will hold the TQ anyway. As long as he doesn't have a disaster, he's just got to make sure he's there or thereabouts. He won't mind holding Kevin up, that's for sure, behind him. So I reckon he might wait until the end of the race. Reinis Nittisch is in P6 at the minute. Gronholm's in 5th, so I don't know if he'll be able to move up from there. He's in 5th overall, and he's in 5th in this race. But Nittisch is 6th overall. Good result here. He'd love a front row. And Anton Marker, we know, has been dropped down. So can Nittisch get on the front row?
It would be amazing if we saw Nittisch on the front row, roll in Q1 and then a win in Q2. We can ride on board with him. He looks very relaxed, doesn't he? His eyes are, he's just laser focused on what the job in hand.
Baccarat into the Joker. Gronholm trying to find a way past Kevin, but he can't quite do it. Andreas is careful of those markers. Runs a wheel up over the curve, but not too far. Nittisch up and over the crest. Timmy Hansen behind. I'll tell you what, I expected Timmy to be putting Nittisch under a bit more pressure, because yesterday Nittisch came under pressure in his race, and I wasn't sure he was fully into the car, but he seems fully into it now, Dan.
Yeah, he's finally come at one with the car. Of course, a knock of confidence in Q1, but he's bounced back and he is looking very strong.
Gronholm with a big jump up behind gives Kevin Hansen a little nudge over the dirt section there, waiting on the throttle. I thought Gronholm might find traction on the inside, but he can't. We're on to the last lap then. Here we go. Gronholm sideways through turn 1. Nittisch into the Joker. Watch for Kevin on the inside. It's going to be close on the merge. Kevin Hansen versus Reinis Nittisch. Kevin's got him. Nittisch slops into P2. Through the right-hander now. Gronholm is into 3rd, and Timmy Hansen dumped down to 4th place. So Hansen was in P2 in quali. He'll probably stay up there. Will his brother edge him though? Yeah, they're equal on points. So Kevin Hansen is going to out-qualify his brother here at home at Hollius. Going to take a point off him, and that'll put them equal on points going into the semi-finals for the lead of the World Championship. Over the jump, Kevin Hansen, Reinis Nittisch, Gronholm and Timmy Hansen. 3:03.5 is the target time, and they're not going to do it. He runs wide. Nittisch has a look. Kevin takes it from Nittisch, Gronholm, Hansen and Baccarat. Couldn't be closer at the end of qualifying, but he's 2.4 seconds faster cars as Sebastian Eriksson wins Q4, but Kevin Hansen is in front of his brother Timmy. Looking at Gronholm as well, we could see Kevin might have taken the lead in the World Championship there because Niklas Gronholm's beaten Timmy Hansen. Let's wait and see the standings in a minute. Kevin Hansen takes it from Nitish Gronholm, Hansen and Bakkerud. There's where they slot in Eriksson and Abbring with a P2. What a weapon, brilliant drive. Remember, the top two here in Q4, Reinis Nitish in 4th place. They are not World Championship regulars. 3 of our top 4 are not World Championship regulars. What a drive. So Kevin a little bit sideways off the line, on board with Timmy here. Not going to do anything silly with his brother, backs out and gives Kevin the space, but Nitish is already round the outside of the two of them.
Yeah, I was worried that Reinis might run into a bit of the dirty stuff on the outside of the track and end up in the gravel, but it worked out well for him there. And you can see the dust flying off of the cars as they come around there, the dirty part of the track. Certainly dried up, hasn't it? But this last corner causing problems, and I think that's potentially where the time was lost to Sebastian Eriksson. Take nothing away from him and Kevin Abbring. Brilliant drive by them. Nitish into the joke with Timmy. Look at the gap between them. It looks like nothing, and that's what it is. It's a car at least. So Kevin gets in front. Niklas Gronholm slots in between them. Timmy Hansen dropped down to 4th. Brilliant last race from qualifying.
Great drive, great results, but it still looks like that track is quite tricky.
Yeah, for sure. The line is very narrow. Everything is really greasy still from the rain. But I put together a really good start, took the Joker and could drive my race. I had Niklas really close, so I couldn't go my maximum. But quite okay race. I enjoyed it and important to get the race win. So nice to be P3 in this race.
And we'll see you in the semi-final.
Yeah, thank you.
Kevin Hansen very happy with that result. Good drive by him. Said great start, then he pieced together a good run. I was surprised that Timmy, well, he's only a little car length back, wasn't he? And Niklas snuck into the gap. So Reinis getting P2. But I mean, what about 3 out of our top 4 in that session are not World Championship regulars?
I know, this is so good to see, isn't it? And Sebastian Eriksson, he always surprises me. He is such a talent. All he does is maybe a few folk races, doesn't he?
Oh,
and then,
yeah, he does, and a bit of ice. I want to see Sebastian Eriksson full-time, Kevin Eriksson. Who else do I want to see? We want to see Wiemann in this championship all the while. We'd have carnage. Can you imagine if those guys were in all the while? We know it comes down to money, Dan, like it does for you, but it would be brilliant to get those guys into this series. Here are the standings then at the end of Q4. Andreas Bakkerud takes the TQ, but Sebastian Eriksson moves up to 2nd place. Kevin Hansen is in 3rd. Reinis Nitish gets 4th. Timmy Hansen does not get a front row start. So Niklas Gronholm down in 6th. Abbring in 7th. Bachuska is in 8th. Then it's Anton Mock and Janis Baumanes, Kevin Eriksson. Kaliokoski 12th. Look who's missed out. Paye, Shisharit, Doran, Paye. Oh, Sabo hasn't made it. Larson, Derrida, Raymond, German. It's just a list. Timo Scheider, Timmers, Yarnov. Wow, there you go. Some of the big names haven't made it. Our championship regulars have, but Kevin Hansen has taken the lead in the World Rallycross Championship with the points he scored in qualifying compared to his brother Timmy. Championship lead change. We don't often talk about it mid-event because you don't often look at the points and think it's going to work. You know, at the end of the event, all the points are totted up. You know, in terms of the history books, you won't see it, but Kevin's beaten Timmy there.
Yeah, he has, and he's now also got the upper hand of a front row start in the semi-final, which Timmy doesn't as well. So we could be seeing him grow that advantage through the rest of the day.
Unbelievable, brilliant, unbelievable qualifying all weekend. This place always delivers, but with the weather changes and stuff too, it's just been epic. So I'm glad you were able to join us all for the qualifying stages with weather, wet and cold, hot and dry. There's your championship points, look. So Kevin Hansen takes the lead from Timmy by 1 point. He was 1 point behind, he's now 1 point ahead. Bakkerud, look, only 12 points back. What was Bakkerud was further back than that. So Bakkerud's actually closed the gap on the Hansens as well. So it has all happened here. And do you know what, funny enough, Neil's with some people who are quite fond of Bakkerud.
Well, as you can see, the Backward Blues are in full voice. What an incredible session. The semis and the finals are going to be extraordinary. We've had 4 different winners from 5 rounds so far. Are we going to see a Norwegian win in Sweden? I think these guys will be happy if it is. So, don't forget, at 2 o'clock, your Central European time, we will have the live show, semi-finals and the final, right here from Hollius. Thank you for watching. Come on, one more song, go! There we go, the Backward Blues.